The arrival of the sanctuary, I became the king of angels in another world. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement, this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 1. Dear Baron Raymond, I wonder if you are okay. The bodies of your father and brothers have been burned, so you don't have to worry. Moreover, the Principality of Lane has also recognized your status as a baron, so from now on, you will be the new lord of our Greystone village. Your territory needs you. Your people, our people in Greystone village need you too. I will also do my best to help you resist all difficulties in the future, so please be sure to return as soon as possible. Dear Lord Baron, your most loyal subordinate, Senior Knight Matt German. Looking at the letter in his hand, Raymond didn't know what to say for a moment. He froze in place, a little confused, because he never thought that before this, he was playing games at home well, and then suddenly inexplicably transported to this different world. This really caught him off guard, but the only good news was that he didn't seem to be at the bottom of a different world, but became the second son of a family called the Blaine family. But because his father and brother were attacked by monsters, they all died in an accident. So now he has naturally become the new baronet, and the heir to the lordship of the Greystone village territory. As for her mother? A long time ago, her mother died due to dystocia when giving birth to him, so he has always been a single parent. Warcraft attack? Title territory, inherit? Lord, Lemon's mind was a little confused, but he seemed to be slowly digesting and understanding the memories of his predecessor. After a while, he probably got used to it. Hey, I didn't expect to travel through time, but luckily, he turned out to be a baron with a fief right from the start. This starting point doesn't seem too bad, he murmured. Their country is called the Principality of Lane, and his current fiefdom, Greystone village, is just a very small and inconspicuous small fiefdom in the north. Now, the population of his entire village, there are only more than 1,000 people, and if the old, weak, sick and young are excluded, the real population of young men and women is less than 500. You can imagine what this concept is, this number is really small. But for him alone, it's still pretty good. At least it's definitely enough to sustain him until he dies. It seems that the original plan has to be abandoned. Going back to inherit the family business is the right choice for me now. He is currently studying at the Duke Academy of Magic, the best magician academy in the Falcao Plateau in the north of the Principality of Lane. According to the memory of his predecessor, it seems that his father spent several years of income in the territory to finally get there. A chance to enter school. After all, if you can become a magician, you will definitely have a high status in this world, especially in the circle of low-level professionals. The status of a magician is much greater than that of a warrior. Hope that your son will become a great success. It is the long-cherished wish of every parent. However, others don't know it, but he knows it clearly in his heart. Although his body, the original body's magician talent is indeed there. But not much. That's why he came here obviously. This is the reason why after studying for more than a year, he is still stuck at the level of the first level entry-level magician and cannot move. He's really a rookie. So instead of being looked down upon and wasting time at Duke School of Magic, it's better to go home, inherit the family business, and lie down peacefully. Thinking of this, he immediately went through the formalities for suspending school, and then left here without stopping and went home. More than 10 days later, in Greystone village, Raymond returned here after a long journey, and here, there was a tall man wearing a burly and dazzling bright white armor. The 2-meter-tall man with hair as strong as a lion is already here, as if he has been waiting for him for a long time. This person is none other than the owner of the previous letter, and he was also his father's best friend during his lifetime. Brother, subordinate. Level 4 Senior Knight, Matt German. A Level 4 professional, this is considered a very good little master in the Principality of Lane. And his father's strength during his lifetime was also like this. Before this, there were only 2 Level 4 professionals in their Greystone village, one was his father. Then there's this Senior Knight, Matt German. Dear Baron Raymond, nice to see you. How are you? You are finally back, Matt German said with a smile. Uncle Matt German, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. After receiving the letter, I took a break from school and rushed back. But you know that my eyesight is very poor, so I spent some time on the road. Besides, you can just call me by my name, Baron Raymond. To be honest, I'm still not used to it, Raymond apologized. Perhaps because he inherited the memory of his predecessor, he also had some subconscious affection for Uncle Matt German in front of him, because the other party should have watched him grow up, whether it was when he was a child or now. Very good to him. I understand, Raymond, but you have to understand that from now on you have to be strong and cheer up, because from now on, you will be the real lord of our Greystone village. Let's go, talk as we go. Matt German nodded, then shook his head, stretched out his hand, and made a gesture of invitation to Raymond. Raymond paused for a moment, and did not refute, but walked towards the Greystone village with him. I walked over. I have to say that it is called Greystone Village, but it really doesn't look very good here. Even the city walls on the edge are small and pitiful, only 2 or 3 meters high, and the internal buildings are also very dirty. Poor, there is garbage everywhere, and there are crumbling houses everywhere. It looks no different from the slums. Not only that, the people here also look very numb. There seems to be no life at all, and after seeing these, although on the surface he showed everything to Raymond, but in his heart he couldn't help sighing and having a headache, because he knew that looking like this, his great cause of lying down didn't seem to be going too smoothly. If it was in the previous life, this kind of life, a level that can be sustained to death, is still alive. This level is too bad, so there will definitely be a big problem. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but ask, Uncle Matt German, what do I need to do next? Yes, how did my father and brother die? I'm glad you have such an understanding, Raymond. Next, you should really consider this issue. I have to say that the current situation in our Greystone village is indeed very bad. Hey, Matt German sighed and said with twinkling eyes. In 1 month, the cold wave will hit and winter will arrive. By then, the most difficult time of the year will arrive. However, this year is our most difficult time. New book is about to start. Please ask for all the data, collect Tuahua's comments, etc. Chapter 2. There are 2 tortures and dangers in winter. One is food and the other is severe cold. Every winter in the past, your father and I would go out to hunt monsters in exchange for gold coins, food, and some heating resources, but this year we failed. A trace of hatred and anger appeared in his eyes, and he said in a suppressed voice, Lemon, do you know? I don't know when a level 5 monster appeared in the Asuka Mountains in the eastern part of the territory. It was a level 5 monster with powerful wind attributes, the Gale Wolf King. Moreover, his wolf pack also includes more than 100 level 3 and 4 blast wolves, as well as other level 2 pups. Unfortunately, our hunting team was attacked by them. Your father, brother, and many members of the hunting team died in their mouths. I should have died too, united the Bryan family, for you and for us. Greystone Village, I can only choose to escape, so do you understand now? Our current situation is really bad. Hearing this, Raymond also smiled bitterly. Level 5 Gale Wolf King? He naturally knew that it was a terrifying monster that could rival a level 5 Earth Warrior. A level 5 Earth Mage. Unexpectedly, it was because of this. That is indeed an unjust death. And this is not the point. The point is that the hunting team is definitely the only armed force of their Greystone village, but now they have suffered heavy losses, which means that the force value of their Greystone village will definitely plummet. At the same time, if the hunting income of the hunting team is gone, it also means that there will be a major shortage of food and heating resources in the following winter. This is the real big trouble. It is bearable to live a bad life, but if there is nothing to eat, then there will definitely be a civil uprising. This problem is too big. However, at this moment, Matt German suddenly spoke again. Said, but you don't have to worry about Raymond. Although our current situation is very troublesome, your father's income over the years still has some wealth. Take them out and use them, they will last through this winter no problem. However, the biggest trouble we will face next is actually the replenishment of population and combat power. Population and combat power replenishment, that's right, Matt German nodded and said with twinkling eyes. The total population of our Greystone village is about 1,300, of which less than 500 are young and middle-aged men and women. If it's a man, it's even less, just over 200. And among these people, most of them are thin and poor ordinary people, with extremely poor physical fitness and fighting ability. Therefore, The total number of members of our hunting group in Greystone Village is only 50 or 60 at most, but now, there are less than 20 of these people. Among them, there are 5 level 1 trainee warriors, 2 level 2 low-level warriors, and the rest are ordinary people. And they are all injured and need to recover, so this is really a big question. Hearing this, Raymond also had a headache. Although he didn't know much, but he still understood the simple truth that population equals combat power reserve, and combat power reserve can be transformed into real armed force. But now their population is seriously insufficient, and even among them, the structural problems of young and middle-aged people were also due to excessive losses. Structural problems arose. If this happens, problems will occur over time. He couldn't help but ask, "Uncle Matt German, me?" But before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Matt German. He shook his head and said, "Let's take one step at a time. Anxiety is of no use. Although these are all problems, I am here. Next year, we can slowly think of a solution." Raymond was stunned for a moment, and then he breathed a sigh of relief, accepted this statement, because he knew that as identified level 4 professional, Uncle Matt German was indeed qualified to become the Dinghe Shenzhen of their Greystone Village. In fact, many weak fiefdoms do not even have the strength of level 4 professionals. Although they have become weaker, they are not the weakest yet, and they have not reached the point where they are at the end of their rope. "Raymond, this is your baronetcy medal, take it." At this moment, Matt German took out an exquisite bronze medal the size of a baby's palm and handed it to him. There were 2 words engraved on the bronze medal, "Barren." "Your father's belongings are in the basement of his room. You can go back and take a look later, and then take a good rest. Tomorrow, you will have to start learning to grow up, because you are now a qualified lord, you know, arrive." As he spoke, Matt German stopped, because a castle appeared in front of them. The walls of this castle alone are 5 meters high, and they are extremely solid. People can stand on top of them. This castle can be used as a war fortress. Compared with the filth and chaos outside, the things here finally look a little human. "Raymond, go home, have a good night's rest, I'll come back to you tomorrow." Matt German patted Raymond on the shoulder, then turned and left. And after seeing this scene, Raymond walked directly into the castle, and then went directly to his father's room. Memory among them, his father's room has always been a restricted area, and no one is allowed to enter. Now it seems that maybe it is for this reason, all his family's assets are hidden here. Not long after, he found the entrance to the basement, opened the door and went in to take a look. My eyes suddenly lit up and I was pleasantly surprised. Is this a gold coin? And the Warcraft demonic core. There are so many gold coins, the hard currency of this world. The smallest unit is copper coins, and then silver coins, gold coins, purple gold coins, etc. Under normal circumstances, the purchasing power of 1 gold coin is enough for a family of 3 to live for 10 years. And there seem to be several here 10 gold coins. In other words, the problem of food and heating resources has been solved. There is no problem with these gold coins surviving this winter. Not to mention that there are so many Warcraft magic cores here. Warcraft magic cores contain Warcraft. The magic power in the body is a real good thing. The market demand is huge and the price is very beautiful. It is no exaggeration to say that an ordinary level 1 magic core can be sold for 30 to 50 silver coins. Level 2 the above is directly doubled. At least it is counted in gold coins. It is definitely an extremely strong hard currency. Thinking of this, he could no longer suppress the joy in his heart, and stretched out his hand towards the dazzling array of sparkling items in the box. The magic core touched it. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred, and his whole body suddenly trembled, and then a very strange voice sounded next to his ears. Ling. Energy supply detected, Temple Castle system activated, attention, host, congratulations, you have obtained the castle base of a Temple Castle. Chapter 3. After hearing this, Raymond froze on the spot. Then slowly his eyes widened and his expression became incredible. Take a breath, hiss. Holy Cathedral Castle Base, etc. This isn't the Templar Castle Base I thought of, is it? You must know that he was still playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 before crossing over, leading the angel army of the Temple Castle to kill everyone. So, this can't really be the Temple Castle, right? System. His plug-in is here, it's time to step on the horse. Raymond was completely excited and couldn't help shouting. So cool, as someone who has experienced it, of course he knows whether there is time travel with this system close to him or not. These are definitely two concepts. System, isn't that just a cheat? I didn't expect that the correct way to open his system is this, energy supply? So are they those magic cores? Of course he no longer hesitated now. He quickly reached out again and quickly picked up a piece of the magic core in the box. Suddenly, the system prompt sounded again, clearly appearing in his ears. Ding, recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 1 common troops, Templar Lancers, Holy, Templar Lancer, damn it, is it really possible? Raymond blurted out, and he became ecstatic and excited for a moment. He could actually recruit the troops of the Temple Castle by spending magic cores? Isn't this so cool? The Temple Lancers are the first level ordinary troops of the Temple Castle camp. Although in the game, he is a scumbag. A pure weakling. But currently, it seems that his strength should be pretty good, right? After all, the magic core he just took. It is a genuine level 1 magic core. Level 1 magic core. The core is produced from level 1 Warcraft, and the strength of Warcraft at this level is equal to level 1 entry-level warriors, or other level 1 professionals, etc. And among this level, the strength of Warcraft should be the strongest at the same level. Thinking of this, he no longer hesitated and said quickly, "Recruit, ding, host, please note that you have successfully recruited level 1 ordinary soldiers. Templar Lancers. Ding. Attention, host Raymond, congratulations, you have successfully recruited a level 1 common soldier, the Templar Lancer. You become a Lord Hero, and you get the Holy Light Fighting Spirit." Buzz. At the same time, a majestic soldier wearing mighty armor, holding a spear, and at least 2 meters tall appeared directly in front of him out of thin air. And as soon as he appeared, he knelt down to Raymond without hesitation. See the noble and great lord. At that moment, Raymond immediately felt something in his heart. That was loyalty. Yes, she could clearly feel that. It seemed that the Templar Lancer in front of her was absolutely loyal to him. He would even give everything for him, even if it costs his life. This feeling suddenly made him excited and ecstatic. Even his breathing became a little faster. Loyal. Although he didn't know what the strength of the Templar Lancer in front of him was, but as long as you can be loyal, this is definitely a good deal. Is there anything more important in this world than loyalty? Of course not. And more importantly, he seems to have received other rewards. Holy Light Fighting Spirit. Seeing the system prompt, Raymond was very excited. Dao Ki, in other words, is the practice of skills, or even secret books. In this world, Dao Ki is a very important, powerful and rare thing. The more powerful it is, the more powerful it is. The more powerful the fighting spirit you cultivate, the more powerful it will be. It will even derive various magical abilities. Warriors who have mastered fighting spirit are definitely much more powerful than ordinary warriors, even comparable to monsters of the same level. But just imagine what this concept is. Because of this, it can be said that the existence of this fighting spirit can definitely represent powerful martial arts. It can even become the cornerstone of the prosperity of a family, even a country, or a principality. This wave is taking off. Ha ha ha. Raymond laughed loudly, and then quickly received the reward of the Holy Light Fighting Key. The next second, the Holy Light Fighting Key, and even the huge power of the Holy Light, were quickly integrated into his body. And he quickly mastered it. It was as if he had practiced it countless times. At the same time, the power in his body even began to increase rapidly. Then, level 1. In other words, in this moment of effort, Raymond went from being an ordinary level 1 junior magician has turned into a level 1 trainee warrior with pretty good combat power. A level 1 trainee warrior with dual cultivation of magic and martial arts, he has become a trainee magician. It's awesome. It's a system indeed. It's so awesome. Ha 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 ha. Raymond couldn't help laughing a few times, and then immediately stretched out his hand to pull up the Temple Lancer who was still kneeling in front of him. At the same time, he asked, "May I have your name, dear lord?" "My name is Ogre." "Ogre, you are attacking me with your most powerful force now. I need to feel how strong you are," Raymond said. Yes, he now needs to know the strength of the opponent and how strong it is. Only in this way can he make a better judgment on how he should recruit troops next, which will be more reasonable. But Ogre was hesitant. As a subordinate, attacking the Lord was absolutely unacceptable to him. But Raymond's attitude was very determined. "No, but do as I say." "Yes, dear lord." Ogre no longer hesitated, but gave up his weapon and punched Raymond with all his strength. However, He was blocked by Raymond with his holy light fighting spirit. At the same time, he was still thinking with flashing eyes. Get up him. This strength is not too strong, but it is still within the scope of a level 1 professional, and his weapons are not used yet. As a Templar Lancer, coupled with his weapons, he should be stronger. But it should only be regarded as the level of an ordinary level 1 trainee warrior. In other words, this should be a 1-for-1 level. With a level 1 magic core, you can recruit a level 1 ordinary soldier with level 1 volunteer strength Temple Lancer. This seemed like no surprise, a fair and even exchange, but in fact, Raymond still felt that he had made a lot of money. First of all, this magic core is not a living person, it is just hard currency, a dead thing. But the Templar Lancer is different. He is a living thing, and the important thing is that he is very loyal. And the value of such an existence is definitely far higher than that of a magic core of the same level. It seems that my future route should still focus on the army of troops like Might and Magic 3, he murmured. The main theme of the game Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is the army of soldiers. And now it seems that the characteristics of his temple and castle system have also inherited this. A single soldier is common and ordinary? What if there are thousands of soldiers? What about an army of thousands of horses, or even an army of soldiers? Obviously, this is the correct style of painting for the truly powerful core of the temple and castle system. Chapter 4. Very good, then the next step is these magic cores. Raymond glanced at the magic cores in those boxes, and then immediately took action and began to carefully count their number and levels. The result is 2 level 3 magic cores, 7 level 2 magic cores, and more than 40 level 1 magic cores. This number is not many, but it is not too small, because if it is exchanged for gold coins, there are dozens of them, right? It's enough for their Greystone village to survive for another year, no problem. Then Raymond picked up the level 3 magic core. At the same time, the system prompts the sound. Ding, recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 2 ordinary troops, Templar archers? The Templar Archer is a level 2 unit that is superior to the level 1 ordinary unit, the Temple Lancer, and the level 1 enhanced unit, the Temple Grand Soldier. If you want to convert it into a professional level in their world, then it should be level 3 intermediate. But, should we recruit? Lemon narrowed his eyes and hesitated. If he directly recruits these magic cores, he should be able to get a loyal army with more than X2 Templar Archers, X5 Templar Grand Guards, and X40 Templar Lancers. To be honest, this is actually not weak, and it is definitely enough to save their Greystone village from their current predicament. However, he still has an idea. What if I replace all these magic cores with a level 4 one? Yes, that's what he thinks. Quality first. Not quantity. Then, he can get a level 2 enhanced unit, a temple marksman who is also a level 4 advanced professional. And more importantly, if he when recruiting those level 2 enhanced troops, can you also get additional rewards? Wouldn't this be a greater benefit? Thinking of this, he silently made a decision in his heart. No matter, let's take a gamble. He immediately swept away all the magic cores in the box and packed them up. Then he quickly left the castle of the Blaine family and went to the house of Matt German. Raymond, why are you here? Also, what is this? Matt German wondered. Uncle Matt German, I need you to do something for me. Raymond stared at him closely and said seriously. As if aware of Raymond's seriousness, Matt German's face also condensed, and then he said solemnly, I am willing to serve you, Lord Baron. Please tell me, what is it? These magic cores, I want you to help me change them to level 4. Raymond spread out the package, and Matt German was also stunned for a moment, and then frowned slightly. Magic core, he glanced at the magic cores, and then looked at Raymond again. He didn't speak, but he seemed to be hesitant. But not long after, he sighed again and stood up directly. Baron, if it is a level 4 magic core, I need to go to Thunder City. That is Count Igor's territory, and only there can we guarantee that we will definitely find the level 4 magic core. Raymond didn't talk nonsense, he said directly and nodded. Uncle Matt German, please. Come back soon, I see. After packing up those magic cores, Matt German quickly turned around and left. At the same time, looking at the other party's leaving figure, Raymond couldn't help but murmured, saying, Uncle Matt German, I hope you won't disappoint me. In fact, leaving this matter to the other party is not a perfect choice, because he doesn't know whether the other party will be tempted by wealth and take away those magic cores from him. But if this matter is left to Ogre or himself, Their strength is too weak. With a mere level 1 strength, he is guilty of holding a jade. Once he is targeted, he will most likely die. So, he could only take a gamble, but fortunately, his luck didn't seem that bad. A few days later, the dusty mad German returned to Greystone Village in a low-key manner. At the same time, he also brought him the level 4 magic core that he had been thinking about for several days. Raymond, this is the level 4 monster, the magic core of the flame golden snake. Also, although there is still some value left in the other magic cores, I bought some food and heating resources on my own initiative. Sorry, Matt German said with his head lowered. Thank you for your hard work, Uncle Matt German. I know what you are worried about, but don't worry, my father's relics still have 60 or 70 gold coins, which are definitely enough for our next expenses. In addition, give me a day, Uncle Matt German, tomorrow, I'll give you a surprise, Raymond said with a smile. Full of confidence. Now everything is ready, all he needs is the east wind. His army and ship of the temple castle will finally set sail, ho-ha-ho-ha. At the same time, he seemed to be aware of the tone in Raymond's tone. Confident, Matt German also laughed, then looked at him and said, okay, then I'll wait for you to give me a surprise tomorrow. Then, Raymond took the level 4 magic core and left. He returned to his family castle. Then, the recruitment began. Ding, recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit the 2nd level enhanced unit, the Templar Marksmen, the 4th level arms above the Temple Marksmen, Temple Lancers, Temple Grand Guards, and Temple Archers? If converted into professional levels in this world, that would be level 4. Recruit. Ding. Attention, host, you have successfully recruited the level 2 enhanced unit, the Templar Marksmen. Ding. Attention, host Raymond, congratulations, you have successfully recruited the 2nd level enhanced unit, the Temple Lancer. You have gained master level archery, and you have gained 10 years of fighting spirit cultivation, rumble. At that moment, the holy light fighting energy in Lei Meng's body suddenly surged. Level 2. Level 3. Even level 4. Almost in the blink of an eye, he changed from the ordinary level 1 magic and martial arts practitioner. The professional has turned into level 4 warrior, who is very likely to be more powerful than Uncle Matt German. Because that Matt German doesn't know any fighting skills. So cool, I knew it, ho-ha-ho-ha. I made the right bet. Lemon was completely excited. Sure enough, he knew it would be like this. When the additional rewards came, he soared into the sky, and the intensity of holy light fighting ki instantly increased to level 4. And in this way, he also became a veritable they are the strongest person in Greystone Village. Ho-ha-ho-ha. At the same time, the 2nd level enhanced soldier he recruited, the Temple Marksman, also appeared out of thin air, kneeling respectfully. In front of him. Dear, great lord, I am Vigors, the sharpshooter of the Templar, and I am honored to be called by you. May you be illuminated by the holy light and your glory last forever. Chapter 5. Get up, Wiggs. Raymond stretched out his hand to pull him up, and then said with a smile, come on, let me see your archery skills. When he heard this, a look of confidence appeared on Wiggs's face. As you wish, dear lord, you must know that their military units are all named after sharpshooters. It can be imagined that in this archery, their confidence and strength are absolutely top-notch. This is definitely their most confident ability, and not one of them. Not long after, at the training ground of the Blaine family, Vigors showed Raymond what it meant to be a sharpshooter. What it means to shoot a perfect arrow. The arrow shoots out like a dragon. 100 steps can pierce the poplar. What's more important, yes, after acquiring the so-called master-level archery, Raymond's archery has also been qualitatively improved. It is even stronger than that of Navig's. You are indeed a great lord. Your archery skills put me to shame. You are so awesome. Wiggs admired. You're not bad either, Vigors. Ha ha ha. Okay, that's it. You can move around freely. If anything happens, I will call you, Raymond said with a smile. Yes, dear lord. Wiggs didn't waste any time and immediately turned around and left. At the same time, Raymond stretched lazily towards the sun in the sky, then squinted his eyes, laughed, and murmured, very good. It's getting better. In this way, you can consider restarting hunting. Hunting means income and even a source of magic core. With these, his temple castle army can recruit continuously and grow stronger. But all this must happen before winter arrives. Because winter in this world is terrible. No electricity. No mechanized equipment. You must bear all the cold. Unless you're strong, otherwise, every winter will be a disaster. Therefore, heating resources have become necessary. The 2 to 3 months before the arrival of winter is also known as the lifeline hunting season. All hunting operations must be completed before this happens. And now, himself, Venus, and that mad German. They have already killed 3 major level 4 combat powers. This is definitely a very powerful fighting force. And the expectations and requirements in his heart are really not high at all. Having even 1 level 4 magic core would be perfect. If not, level 3, or even level 2, or level 1, he will definitely not dislike it. After all, if a tall building rises from the ground, it is impossible for him to only need high-level soldiers. For him, he also needs low-level soldiers. After all, his territory also needs these. Soon, night falls, and everything starts to become quiet. In this world, night also means cold, and the temperature difference usually reaches more than 20, so whenever night falls, everyone will stay at home and very few people go out. At this moment, somewhere outside the city, there are already 2 pairs of eyes staring at this place. Bar, is this the place you're talking about? Is there food here? Of course, you don't believe me? I saw it with my own eyes. That guy Mad German bought a lot of food and heating resources, as well as a level 4 magic core, and left Thunder City, so that stuff will only be here. Got it, idiot, but, that guy Mad German is a level 4 senior knight, he is very powerful and difficult to deal with. Are you dumb? Of course we are not alone. I told Viscount Will before coming here that his group of bandits will also arrive next. We just need to collect the information in advance. By then, haha, we don't need to do anything at all. Call out, call out. However, at this moment, 2 sharp arrows suddenly shot out from the dark night. Then it directly penetrated their heads and died on the spot. Then in a corner of the city not far away, Vigus was seen walking out of the darkness. Although Raymond allowed him to move freely, he couldn't really do nothing, so he chose what he was best at, which was observation and patrolling. As a marksman, the most necessary qualities are vision and concealment. For them, vision and concealment these are their instincts. And this also allows them to play the role of an excellent scout. So, in this darkness, the bow and arrow in his hand became the life-killing weapon for the most terrifying demon in the dark night. A gang of robbers? It doesn't sound like it's a big deal, so I'll tell the Lord tomorrow, Nagus murmured, then quietly packed up the 2 corpses, and then hid in the darkness again, as if nothing had happened. Until the next day, in the castle of the Blaine family, Nagus Gus, and Matt German, they all came here. Raymond, who is this? As soon as he heard Nagus, Matt German was shocked. Because with his strength, of course he can feel the strength and extraordinary of the other party. This is actually a level 4 professional like him? This really shocked him. Uncle Matt German, this is the surprise I was talking about yesterday. So, this didn't disappoint you, did it? Come on, let me introduce you. This is Nagus, a marksman. His marksmanship as an archer is very strong. Ha ha ha. And like you, he is also a level 4 professional. Nags, this is Uncle Matt German, one of our own, Raymond introduced with a smile. Immediately, Nagus stretched out his hand directly to Matt German and said with a kind smile, "Hello, I am Nagus, a member of the respected Lord, nice to meet you." Matt German was still a little dazed. He subconsciously stretched out his hand to shake Nagus, and then suddenly burst into laughter. Looking at Nagus, he said very excitedly, "Hello Nags, I'm Matt German and we're so excited to have you join us." After a pause, he couldn't help but look at Raymond and said excitedly, "Lemon, how did you do it? This is actually an extremely rare level 4 marksman. Oh, goddess of ice and snow. This is incredible. Maybe it's because the world is too cold. The reason is that the universal belief in gods in this world is in the legendary goddess of ice and snow. In this world, the goddess of ice and snow is the most powerful. At the same time, he is also the god with the greatest religious power." Secret, Raymond smiled, but he still said it again, "But don't worry, Uncle Matt German, we will get better and better in the future. Believe me, Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day family feedback. Deposit 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now." Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 6. Ha ha ha, Matt German laughed and said with emotion. "Raymond, you have really grown up. It seems that I made the right choice, you have really become a qualified lord. You did a great job, Ha 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 ha, of course, ha ha ha. Raymond also laughed, and then asked again Uncle Matt German, how long do we have next? How long does it take? Matt German was stunned for a moment, then his eyes flashed and he said, you mean hunting? Yes, I need a lot of magic cores. The more the better, and the higher the level, the better. So I plan to start hunting again before winter comes. Uncle Matt German, do we still have time? Raymond asked magic core. Matt German was stunned for a moment, and then he began to think silently. There are only about 20 days left until winter at most. Including the round trip, to be honest, we don't have many optional areas, and the Asuka Mountains are definitely not available. There are level 5 monsters there, and there are also extremely dangerous wolves. The risk is too great, so, Raymond asked, so what? So only the Palos Plateau side should suit your requirements. It's only a day's journey from our Greystone village, and there are also many level 2 and level 3 monsters there. If it's just for hunting for magic cores, it's enough for just me and Nags. He's ranged and I am melee. As long as we can cooperate and be proficient, there is almost no difficulty below level 4, Palos Plateau? Okay, then it's decided, Raymond murmured, and then made a decision directly. Winter is approaching, so what he needs now is to act as soon as possible. As for the location is secondary, because he has no requirements for the type or attributes of the magic core. The level has been reached, a large number, this is enough. Thinking of this, he looked towards Nagus, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he saw that Nagus also opened his mouth, saying, Lord, there is something I want to tell you. Oh? What's up? Last night, I spotted 2 suspicious guys while patrolling outside the city, and they also said, Nagus quickly told what happened last night and what he heard. They were all retold. This also made Matt German stunned and angry. Damn it, I'm being followed. Raymond also looked a little embarrassed at this time and couldn't help but ask, Uncle Matt German, do you know what's going on with this so-called Viscount Will and the Bandit group? Sorry Raymond, blame me. I actually forgot to mention this to you. Matt German apologized, and then said with an ugly face. When winter comes, many people are short of food, heating resources, etc., and then the existence of bandit groups arises. These are vicious robbers. Together they form a dangerous force, and there are quite a few of these bandit groups, especially in our northern district. There are at least hundreds of bandit groups, large and small. Li Meng was stunned for a moment and said in surprise. Hundreds? So much? Yes, although the northern area of our Principality of Lin is vast and sparsely populated, but there are still many small fiefdoms like ours in Greystone Village, at least 20,000 to 30,000. The large number of weak village fiefdoms is also the reason why these bandit groups have spawned, because the weak will inevitably be robbed. There's nothing we can do about it. This is actually the case. Raymond's face looked a little ugly. Road, Uncle Matt German. Are those bandit groups very powerful? That's not the case. Matt German shook his head and said. Some weak bandit groups are actually only at level 1 or 2, and the stronger ones only have level 3 or 4. Your father and I were both here before, and the threat from the 2 major level 4 professionals was still great. Moreover, our Greystone village was actually quite poor, so there were very few gangsters who did not pay attention to us. I didn't expect that this time it would actually. Hey. Sorry, I made a mistake. I was so careless that I got targeted. Uncle Matt German, it's not your problem. Raymond immediately shook his head and said, now it is others who want to bully us. Weakness is the original sin. There is no way, but, he changed the subject and asked again. Are these bandits still involved with those nobles? Of course. Matt German smiled bitterly and said, Raymond, who do you think is the biggest robber? Noble, wrong. Royalty? Raymond raised his eyebrows and said. That's right, the nobles are just a bunch of greedy vampires. Where do you think the food and heating resources that the bandits stole went? In fact, they were all divided up by the nobles behind the scenes. Take it and resell it, Matt German said angrily. Raymond was also stunned for a moment, incredulous. What? Is that so? Yes, in fact, as far as I know, many big nobles secretly keep large-scale bandit groups. This is their black hand, which can help them solve many problems and troubles in the dark. Hearing this, Raymond was also silent. The darkness under the light, the ugly faces under the nobles, this is the dark side of the world. It is ironic, but also very true. Who are the biggest robbers? Those nobles, those kings and royalty. I know Viscount Will, a very powerful Viscount Lord. And if nothing unexpected happens, the bandit group he secretly cultivated should be the group of people from the Red Knight bandit group in the northeast. Their leader is called Sigil, a very powerful level 4 senior knight like me. Moreover, they seem to have 3 more level 4 senior professionals. When he said this, he paused and looked a little ugly. If it is really them, Raymond, this matter may be very troublesome. Their strength is much stronger than ours. Raymond suddenly fell silent, and the pressure was overwhelming. 4 level 4 professionals? Damn it, why did it happen at this time? If you waited until he asked Nagus and Matt German to go to the Palos Plateau to sweep and hunt a wave of monsters, by then, he really wasn't afraid of these things. Because even if the two armies faced off, there would be a gap in overall strength, but mentality and determination are really important. They can go all out, but can those guys in the bandit group go all out? This is definitely impossible. As long as they can strike hard and let the other side see their strength and determination, those guys who are greedy for life and fear of death will never be able to fight with them. But why now? All he can do now is Nagus, Matt German, and himself. The 3 of them can form a fighting force. On the contrary, the gap in the number of basic troops is too big, which must be a big trouble. P.S. New book set sail. Asking for data. Please love me, please collect, evaluate and reward. Huahua. Thank you. Chapter 7. Lord, please rest assured, I don't think the situation is that bad. However, at this moment, Nagus suddenly spoke. If it were a bandit group, they wouldn't be able to go all out to deal with us the first time. And as long as we can kill one of them first, they will naturally be afraid of us. I am confident that I can do this. As soon as he said this, Raymond was stunned for a moment, and then suddenly realized, yes, they can strike first. How strong is Nagus's long-range attack ability? He knows it all. If he is caught off guard, even if they are both level 4, they may still be killed instantly. After all, if there are no special abilities, such as the fighting spirit, the magical power, etc., for level 4 professionals, this is actually not too high, let alone to the point where it can instantly support the defensive power at any time. So Nags is in the dark, and the other guys are in the light. This is actually a huge advantage, and more importantly, long-range attacks are not just Nag. If he can do it, he can do it even more. You must know that with a Holy Light Awoke and Master-level archery at the same time, his strength is definitely much more powerful than Nagus. Maybe he can even do it by himself. Enough, because indeed, this is just the first time. He didn't believe that the other party was so fierce and cautious, and would use all his strength to deal with them as soon as they came up. This is simply impossible. Thinking of this, he smiled. Stand up. It seems that I have to get used to my strength as soon as possible. The me now is no longer the novice I was before. Then, he directly gave the order, said, Nagus, Uncle Matt German, the original plan remains unchanged. The hunting mission is left to you. Leave the matter of the bandit group to me. Matt German was stunned for a moment and said quickly. Raymond, however, before he finished speaking, his pupils suddenly shrank, horrified. Shocked. Fight? Fighting. I saw a bright layer of holy light fighting energy suddenly appearing on Raymond's body. And it was also very powerful and amazing. They are actually the same, both at level 4. Raymond said with a smile. Uncle Matt German, don't worry, leave it to me. Matt German was stunned for a long time, and then looked at Raymond with a strange expression. He nodded, I see. By the way, do you need the magic core? That's right. Lemon nodded without hesitation and said, the more, the better. The higher the level, the better. I understand. Then you, wait for me. As if he didn't feel anything, Matt German gritted his teeth in great pain, and then quickly turned around and left. Not long after this, he came back again and brought back something. Raymond, take these. Matt German opened the package he brought, and there were 3 sparkling magic cores inside. And this was actually a level 4 magic core and 2 level 3 magic cores. Raymond's eyes suddenly lit up, surprised. Uncle Matt German, what are you doing? Matt German said in pain. Raymond, you have grown up, it's time for me to believe in you. These are some of my savings, if you need it, take it. Lemon was silent for a moment, and then he said seriously to Matt German, Uncle Matt German, don't worry. I won't let you pay for it in vain. I will return these magic cores to you hundreds or thousands of times in the future. Don't worry, I will do what I say. Matt German laughed, then bowed his head seriously and said, Lord Baron, shall we leave first? Go ahead, go early and come back early. Also, stay safe. Yes. Next, Met German and Nanagas quickly set off and left. At the same time, Raymond also recruited 2 new level 2 ordinary soldiers, temple archers. There is also that level 2 enhanced unit, temple marksmen. Their names are Portman, Harbinger, and Sheen. Ling. Attention, host Raymond, congratulations, you have successfully recruited the 2nd level ordinary soldier, the temple archer. You have acquired the bright combat skill, Holy Light Sword technique. You have gained 3 years of fighting spirit cultivation. Holy Light Sword technique, it seems that this should be matched with a Holy Light fighting key. Raymond quickly accepted these rewards. Then, all the memory information about the Holy Light Sword technique poured into his mind in an instant. And it was as if he had practiced it countless times. At the same time, the power of Holy Light Dao Qi in his body began to increase rapidly, but it was not upgraded. It was just stronger than before. Really. The additional rewards for level 2 enhanced arms are stronger than those for ordinary level 2 arms. It's a pity that these rewards only seem to be once, otherwise they would be really invincible. Recruiting one will give you a reward, so that's really cool. It's really a pity. Haha, Raymond murmured greedily, but he just said it and let it go. After all, his system is really powerful now. It is most correct to be content and happy. And he also discovered a rule, that is, if he can recruit level 1 ordinary soldiers, his strength will be upgraded to level 1. When he recruits level 2 ordinary enhanced soldiers, his strength will be upgraded to level 4. Then, does this mean, if he can recruit griffins, priests, Templar crusaders, even champion knights, holy archangels, etc., then his strength can be improved to the same as them? This is really fierce, Raymond murmured expectantly. Now his ascending channel has an obvious path, and that is brushing. Brushing the magic core hard, and then a virtuous cycle. The ant colony effect is infinitely amplified. Thinking of this, he had already dreamed of his future domination of the world with an endless army. Then he waved his fist fiercely and said with great enthusiasm, "Come on, you are the best." Raymond. Nothing happened in the next few days, everything seemed to be going well, but Raymond himself was in trouble because he really couldn't stay in this backward and dilapidated Greystone village without any entertainment facilities. Get used to it. In the previous life, the earth was full of high-rise buildings and entertainment facilities, and even if you don't like to go out, you can easily spend a whole day at home playing on the computer and mobile phone, but here, it's simply not possible. A dirty and messy environment like a slum. The chaotic streets of dilapidated houses, numb people, and the endless cold wasteland world outside the city. To be honest, this world is really not that beautiful. On the contrary, it is very cruel and cruel. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. Hey, it seems that we still need to put the construction of the castle on the agenda as soon as possible and treat it as the second priority as soon as possible. Otherwise, I really can't stay in this environment any longer, Raymond sighed and murmured, but he also knew that there was no need to rush anything, especially this matter. I'm afraid we can only wait until their Greystone village has overcome the current series of difficulties. Dear Lord Baron, your humble servant Imra asks to see you. At this moment, a middle-aged man with grey short hair and a sharp mouth and monkey cheeks came to ask to see Raymond. As for who he is, Irmila, the tax collector appointed by his father during his lifetime, is in charge of the taxation of the entire Greystone village, as well as various construction purchases and expenditures, food and grain purchase, expenditures, etc. Basically, everything that can be related to money is within his scope of authority, so, if we want to use the terms on Earth, it is their Greystone village. The housekeeper. The one who takes charge of all housekeeping affairs. Irmila, why did you come to see me, dear Lord Baron? It is like this. The quarterly tax has arrived, so I want to clarify and follow your will. Will the tax for this quarter remain the same as usual? Or, Lord Baron, do you need to mention it further? Irmila said cautiously. As the tax collector of Greystone village, he naturally knows how much difficulty their village is facing now. The failure of the hunting group means a reduction in income, and even a shortage of food and heating resources. At the same time, The former lord sought death and the members of the hunting group suffered heavy losses, which also meant that the overall strength of their Greystone village would further decline significantly. So in this case, exploiting civilians became routine operation. By increasing taxes, this part of the losses can be passed on to those poor people as much as possible. This will make up for the losses of their Greystone village, and at the same time, after receiving more taxes, it can also greatly alleviate their poverty. The financial pressure on Ishimura. This is killing two birds with one stone. As for the poor people, you definitely don't need to care about them. As members of the territory, as people in the Baron's territory, this is what they should pay, and it is natural. However, after hearing this, Raymond looked a little strange. Increased taxes. The biggest victims of these losses and disasters are actually not the Blaine family, but the people at the bottom. What's more, in his impression, taxes in this world are a very scary thing. Basically, it can be said in two words: high tax. And it's so high that it's almost crushing people to death. Just like this, they actually want to increase taxes? Seriously. Although he is not a saint, he is not so vicious as to suck people's blood. What's more, he now has the system as close to him, and the day of its rise is just around the corner. He really doesn't need to worry about such a small profit. It will completely affect his mood. Thinking of this, he directly asked Irmila, "What are the taxes in our Greystone village?" Irmila was stunned for a moment, but she said immediately, "Dear Lord Baron, if it is just a simple survival tax, then a family will pay about 50 copper coins per quarter. In addition, there are food taxes, city entry taxes, exit taxes, production taxes, business taxes, etc., which are about 40 yuan items. These are also very good income. On average, it can provide us with 2 to 30,000 copper coins in a quarter, more than 40 items." Lehman couldn't help but became speechless. Is this really a tax? This is not a money grab. This is too dark. No wonder those people all look so numb and gray. If it were him, he wouldn't same thing. They are all animals. Then he shook his head and said, "Irmila, please change the taxes." Irmila nodded immediately. In his opinion, the new Baron should increase taxes, but this is a matter of course. How can they make money without raising taxes? Just kidding, the wallets of these nobles may not be able to shrink. However, what Raymond said next surprised him. Incredible. First of all, cancel all those other messy taxes for me, then tax-free this winter. Irmila was stunned for a moment, and then her eyes straightened, staring at Raymond in disbelief. "Baron, Lord Baron, what did you just say? Duty-free? Is there a problem?" Raymond looked at him expressionlessly. He could tell that the Yomala in front of him should be regarded as a standard aristocratic loser. If such a person is obedient, he can still be used. If you are disobedient, you will have to change someone. As if aware of Raymond's attitude, Irmila paused, then immediately lowered his head and said in a cold sweat, "No, no. Dear Lord Baron, of course I have no objection. Your will is everything to me." Raymond glanced at him, and then spoke again. Said, "Second, after the next year, our Greystone village's taxes will be collected on a monthly basis, or it can also be calculated on an annual basis. For the time being, let's charge it as 100 copper coins per year for a family, no matter how many people there are in the family, 1 or 2 people, or even 5 or 10 people. It's all this number. But only for poor people and poor people. Rich businessmen in the family, small noble knights, etc. Let's start with 10 silver coins a year. In addition, tell them that marriage and childbirth are encouraged. Whether it is marriage or childbirth, half of the tax is exempted for that year. More lives, more losses. Can be infinitely stacked." To be honest, he really doesn't know much about taxation, so he can only take it for granted and come up with a trial version first. The core of his taxation method is actually very simple, that is, to exploit a middle class. Rich people. Let the poor go, and at the same time encourage and reward marriage and childbirth, thereby increasing the population. Make it bigger and stronger. After all, for him, he really doesn't need to rely on the pitiful income from his territory. To improve his strength, the source of his confidence is very simple, that is his temple castle system. That is his temple castle army. So in this way, he can do whatever he wants with complete freedom. Gula. But after hearing this, Almira couldn't help but swallowed, and her face changed drastically. Her expression even looked like she was about to cry. "Lord Baron, do you really want to do this? If this is really the case, The few noble knights and merchants in our Greystone village may rebel collectively or even leave our Greystone village. In his opinion, Raymond's taxation method is simply anti-human and violates his worldview of life. It exploits small noble knights and businessmen and spares the lowly poor people at the bottom? How is this possible? Isn't this funny? Logically speaking, shouldn't the Baron be on the same boat as them? But, why is this happening? And if he really wanted to do this, he seriously doubted that he wouldn't be able to wait until tomorrow. I'm afraid those little noble knights and businessmen would all rebel today, even leaving their Greystone village. And this is definitely a fatal blow to their Greystone village. The core of the territory is definitely the aristocracy, the strong businessmen and the rich. What kind of territory would it be without them? Irmela, what do I say? You just do it, and if you can't do it, I can let someone else take your place. Do you understand? Lemon glanced at him and said impatiently. Irmela's face changed for a while, but in the end he could only nod with a wry smile and said, I know, Lord Baron, and I will try my best to do it, but I am afraid that my strength cannot suppress them. Don't worry, I will work with you. Raymond shook his head and said lightly, Portman, come in. Immediately, a figure wearing light armor and carrying a huge bow and arrow walked in from outside the room. It is the second-level ordinary soldier, Temple Archer Portman. After successfully recruiting them, Raymond also assigned them their respective tasks. The most powerful temple marksman, Sheen, was given the task of observing and patrolling outside the city. There are also the other two Templar archers, Portman and Harburg, who are left in the city, on standby at any time. Irmela, this is Portman, a level 3 intermediate archer. He will accompany you throughout the next mission. Remember, if anyone disagrees, just let them leave, but if someone wants to cause trouble, Lemon sneered and said lightly. Portman, just kill them. Okay, I am willing to serve you, dear lord, Portman said without hesitation. At this time, Irmela's face turned pale. It was unbelievable. Level 3 intermediate archer? No, when did the Greystone village actually have such a level? A strong man with a rare profession. How could he have never seen it before? Although he was full of doubts, Ilmra finally did not dare to refute. He nodded repeatedly. I know, dear Lord Baron, I will do what you want. Then he left here obediently. Walking out of the Bryan family's castle, Irmela found that the poor people were looking at him carefully, as if this was one of the few moments when they were no longer numb. Because taxes are related to their survival. They at the bottom can think of increasing taxes, that's for sure. But if the taxes are increased too much, they may not even be able to pay. There is only a dead end. Finally, some people have the patience to unable to hold on any longer. He gritted his teeth and asked, Dear Lord Irmela, how much is the tax for this quarter? Should taxes be increased? Irmela was silent for a moment, then sighed and said with a wry smile, You damn wastes, you are really lucky now. Listen to me, the winter tax is cancelled for this quarter this year. Also, all the previous taxes will be cancelled. From next year, only one tax will be charged, the survival tax, which is 100 copper coins per family per year. There is no limit on the number of people, but only for ordinary families and poor families. Besides, after saying this, he paused for a moment, and then gritted his teeth and said again. For merchants, minor noble knights, and families whose family assets reach a certain amount, the annual tax is 10 silver coins, which can be paid monthly or annually. Do you understand everything? As soon as these words came out, the whole place was completely silent. Everyone was stunned, as if they were cast by magic. Free in winter? All kinds of taxes are cancelled, and a family only needs to pay 100 copper coins throughout the year. Moreover, businessmen, small nobles, the Knight family actually paid more than they did. It needed 10 silver coins. No, were they dreaming? How could this be possible? And after seeing this scene, although Irmela understood it, she also still couldn't help shouting, Are you all deaf? Can't you hear what I'm saying? Boom. Finally, everyone woke up and were completely shocked. Lord Irmela, is this really the case? Have our taxes really been reduced that much? Someone shouted in disbelief. It's all true. Also, get married and have children. Any item can be exempted from half of the tax for the year, and can be stacked, Irmela said expressionlessly. Then everyone fell silent again, and then finally broke out completely. Many people knelt on the ground and cried and shouted. Wow! Woo woo woo, long live the Lord! Why not earlier? My mother would not have died earlier. The Lord City Lord is really a good person. Really great. This way our family can survive. Great, ha ha ha. Long live the city lord, long live. Everyone was crazy with joy. After all, this was one of the few good news for poor people like them, right? However, they were happy, but some were unhappy. Iramura, are you crazy? Is that damn Baron a fool? Why lower the taxes on these damn untouchables? Why raise our taxes? We are nobles, does he want to die? Damn it. Damn it, hateful. Suddenly a roar rang out, and a fat man in the crowd, who was wearing obviously more gorgeous clothes and seemed as fat as a fat pig, yelled hysterically. Iramura glanced at him and recognized him immediately. This is one of the few grain merchants in their Greystone village, but he is also a shady merchant. His grain has always been the most expensive, and the quality is very poor, mixed with a lot of sand, and the typical stone meat price. But even so, everyone can't do without him, because everyone needs food, and they can't all rely on their lord to distribute it. And it's not easy for people to be food merchants. These people have backgrounds, and few people dare to offend them. But when he thought of Raymond's previous words and attitude, he could only bite the bullet and said, if you can't accept it, you can leave our Greystone village. This is an order from His Majesty the Baron. What? Before he finished speaking, the fat pig suddenly seemed to have heard a very funny joke and burst out laughing. Are you crazy? Without my food, what will you untouchables and trash eat? All of you will starve to death. Forget it. Raise taxes, right? Okay, then I will raise the price of food. Listen to me, from now on, the price of food will double. You damn untouchables will all starve to death. PFFT, PS. 20,000 words updated, full of sincerity, begging for support, collections, flowers, comments, monthly rewards. Chapter 10. PFFT. But this time before he could finish his words, a sharp arrow suddenly appeared and pierced his head. Then, the fat pig retained his arrogance from the previous second. The next second, he fell straight down, his brain was blown out, after seeing such a sudden thing. The whole place was dead silent. It's so quiet. Even Iramura's face turned pale. He was dead, Jew, actually killed? Although he had been mentally prepared before, when this moment arrived, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. It's over, we're going to be in big trouble now. It doesn't matter if one grain merchant dies, but the question is what about the other grain merchants? Will they all quit? All leave their Greystone village? Once this happens, the food gap will be extremely huge. When those grain merchants are gone, it means that even if they have money, it will be difficult to buy grain. Unless they are willing to go to other cities to buy. But the problem is that winter is approaching and the dangers along the way are huge. Moreover, such a huge food gap cannot be solved in 1 or 2 trips. This is a dead end. Thinking of this, he immediately gritted his teeth and yelled, listen to me, everyone, go home. If you don't hear the order, you are not allowed to go out. Go back quickly. He didn't know what to do. There was no stupid way to do it. Physical isolation was needed. Let these people go home first. At the same time, he quickly returned to the Bryan family's castle. Dear Lord Baron, something bad has happened. What happened? Seeing Iramura leaving and returning in a hurry, Raymond was a little confused, but he still said calmly, tell me slowly, what's going on, Lord Baron? Something big happened. Just when I was reading out the new taxation measures to everyone, a grain merchant made trouble and was shot dead on the spot by Lord Portman. Grain merchant, Lehman was stunned for a moment, and then frowned slightly. It seemed that he had also thought of the trouble. Seeing that Raymond did not speak, Iramura could only continue to speak anxiously, Lord Baron, these grain merchants are all working together. Together, once something happens to one of them, it's impossible for the others to pretend they didn't see it, and our taxes are unfair to them. If they all choose to leave, our Greystone village will be in big trouble. All leave, however. Raymond smiled disdainfully and said, if they want to leave, just let them go. But, Lord Baron, if they leave, what about the food shortage in the next winter? This gap is too big, we simply can't resist it. Iramura was anxious. Did he just kill a grain merchant? Will there be a house raid? Take all the food away and bring me all the gold coins and magic cores. It's that simple, Lemon said calmly. He doesn't believe that those wealthy grain merchants will have no surplus grain without landlords. No grain? Just raid the house. Just raid any house, and at least their food shortage will not be too big in the next winter. After all, at this time point, it is already critical. Winter is coming, and all the food that should be brought has been brought. so he does not panic at all. The quarrel will be over, and these fat guys might can also give him some surprises. In this world, copper coins, silver coins, gold coins, purple gold coins, although these are currencies, they are not hard currencies, magic cores are. So as long as there are strong and rich people with a little bit of strength and a little wealth, their habit is to store magic cores instead of a currency, so this is actually a good thing for him. Confiscating the house. After hearing this, Ilmra was also stunned, and then stammered and said in disbelief, "Lord Baron, do you really want to do this? But if they really want to do this, wouldn't they offend the big shots behind them? There is a background behind these grain merchants, and it is very likely that they are even some powerful noble families, so what? If it offends us, then offend us. Aren't they offending us anyway?" Raymond shrugged, then looked directly at Portman behind Armilla, and said, "Portman, lead someone to ransack that unlucky guy's house. In addition, give I searched carefully inside and out. If there are magic cores, bring them back to me." "Yes, Lord, I will do it now." Portman quickly turned around and left. At the same time, Raymond spoke again and said lightly, "Irmila, I advise you to accept my ideas and behavior from now on, otherwise, I can only replace you and find someone more suitable for me and more obedient to take your place. Understand, you can give me advice and explain the risks, but the decision is mine, not yours, understand?" Irmila trembled all over, and then smiled bitterly and said, "I know, Lord Baron, and I will correct it. Go ahead and wait for your good news." Yes. Soon, the big operation began. About a dozen members of the hunting group, led by Portman, all rushed to the home of the unlucky grain merchant, and then began to ransack the house. Search your home. Search your home. In less than a few hours, all actions were completed. Food from several warehouses appeared in front of Raymond. Looking at the piles of grain in front of him, Raymond couldn't help but sneer. "Yormara, didn't you say that there is a shortage of food? Do you think this is enough?" "Haha, as expected of food, it's really in stock." Seeing this, Irmila stopped talking. "Yes, there is a shortage of food? Isn't this a shortage? This much food is at least enough for the people of their Greystone village to eat for almost a month. Plus horses save the food that Mr. Tegman brought back before. Save it. The 2 months with the coldest results will be absolutely fine. As long as you can survive the 2 months of cold wave, the other marginal winter months will actually be fine too. It's not that difficult at all, and more importantly, this is just one of the many grains in their Greystone village. In their Greystone village, there are at least 2 grain merchants of this size, and they are bigger than them. There are at least 4 or 5 worse grain merchants left. If they are all copied, then why worry about the food shortage? There will be no problem eating until next year." Thinking of this, he suddenly smiled bitterly, because he found that his thinking seems to have changed a bit. He actually dared to think about raiding the homes of those grain dealers. If this happened before, it would have been impossible for him to have such an idea. He couldn't even think about it. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Event time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 11. "Lord Baron, what should we do with this food?" Yormara asked. Raymond thought for a while, and then said, "Just pull it out and sell it at the cost price." Cost price? Irmila's pupils shrank, and she couldn't help but smile bitterly. Everyone knows how low the cost price of food is, but the problem is that the selling price is not like this. Food is a huge profit. The profit is at least 3 or 4 times. So this is completely equivalent to giving it away for nothing. As a tax collector, he really feels sorry for the Baron's wasteful behavior. But he learned his lesson this time and didn't ask questions when he shouldn't, and anyway, it's all I picked it up for free. Hey, so, it's just given for free, it doesn't matter. I know, Lord Baron, I will do it immediately. Irmila left quickly and took the people to prepare for the welfare. At the same time, Portman had already come to Raymond and said respectfully, "Lord, those other things are in the warehouse. Do you want to take a look?" "Lead the way," Raymond said without hesitation. Not long after, they came to a small warehouse without food, but here, there were several ordinary black boxes. Raymond opened the first box and took a look. It was copper, silver and gold coins. "Lord, there are about 5 gold coins, more than 300 silver coins, and more than 20,000 copper coins here," Portman quickly added from the side. Raymond didn't say anything, but opened the second and third boxes. In the second box were some decorations that seemed to be worth some money, and this combat skill? Combat skills. Raymond picked it up and looked at it, and found that it was a level 3 combat skills book. Its maximum power is almost the same as that of a level 3 intermediate professional. It can only be said to be ordinary, quite satisfactory. Also, the name is also very ordinary, Gust Sword Skill. Raymond threw it back, and then looked towards the third box, and at the same time couldn't help but squinted his eyes and laughed. Because there are a lot of them. All kinds of Warcraft cores. Lord, there are 2 level 3 magic cores here, 8 level 2 magic cores, and more than 30 level 1 magic cores, Portman said. Yet, great job. Ha ha ha, Raymond couldn't help laughing. He didn't expect that the army of the Holy Temple and Castle that he had longed for would slowly begin to take shape in such a way. Although the highest level was only level 3 magic core, what I want now is quantity. This number of magic cores, which is almost close to 40, is definitely enough for him to pull up a large-scale Temple Castle army. Thinking of this, he no longer hesitated and walked directly towards those magic cores. At the same time, the familiar and sweet system prompt sound immediately rang. Ding. Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 1 common troops, Templar Lancers? Ding. Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 1 strengthened troops, the Templar Guards? Ding. Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 2 ordinary soldiers, Templar Archers? Recruit them all for me, Raymond said without hesitation, and in an instant, many more figures appeared out of thin air in front of him. And in this way, his current strength of the Holy Temple Castle army has finally begun to take shape. Became the Temple Marksman X2, the Temple Archer X4, the Temple Grand Soldier X8, and the Temple Lancer X36. Comfortable, this wave takes off immediately. Raymond became excited. The formation of the army means that his control over Greystone Village will be further improved. What's more, he is not afraid at all of the next so-called bandit group's attack. Nothing else. Not to mention, just those 4 Temple Archers standing there, whoever dares to provoke, 4 will die in 1 round, and 8 will die in 2 rounds. It's just a bandit group, not a legion, there are dozens of them. 1, or even 20 or 30 people are already invincible without killing at all, not to mention the Temple Marksman Sheen who is comparable to level 4 professional standing there. Under long-range shooting, everyone is equal, and their unit also has the ability to double attack, which is equivalent to 1 killing 2. Thinking about it this way, even if the so-called Red Knight bandits really attack in full force, he is not afraid at all. Yes. The question is, they are stronger. The strength lies with me, so I don't panic at all. And in fact, he now has a more fanatical and wild plan in his heart, a bandit group? How about he try to be a bandit in turn? After all, this bandit business of killing people and selling goods is really profitable. Only by killing people, setting fires, gold belts, and ransacking houses can you make a lot of money. It's made. Just this time, he has received a big benefit. Thinking about it, the thought in his heart, it has also become clearer and more determined. At night, Greystone Village is quiet. There are no people on the streets, and there are no street lights or light. Everyone stays at home, but there are very few exceptions. Although this Greystone Village is not big, it is still different. The east side of the city is a wealthy area. Here, businessmen and small nobles are almost all crowded together. At this time, a certain big grain merchant here there are already many people coming to the house. The lights are already bright, damn, really hateful. What the hell is this damn idiot baron thinking, and why does he dare to raise our taxes? And he actually dared to kill Grant. Did he want to die? Bang bang bang. Here, a fat grain merchant yelled and angrily hit the table with all his strength, making a bang bang sound. Not only him, but the other people present were also like this. They looked extremely angry, with gloomy faces, and some of them even had a fierce look in their eyes. It seemed that they had murderous intentions. To them, businessmen value profits and chase money. Raising their taxes is unacceptable to them in itself, but what is even more unacceptable to them is that damn idiot baron actually dares to lower the taxes of those damn untouchables. What does this mean? Take their money and food to feed those damn untouchables? How can this be? This is crazy. What to do next? No, I will raise the price of food, and I will let them all starve to death. Are you stupid? Raise food prices. Have you forgotten how Grant died? That damn idiot Baron is completely crazy, and the power in his hands doesn't seem to be that simple. That archer seems to be very powerful, so what to do? We are businessmen, we are rich people, how can we use their money to support those untouchables? This is absolutely impossible. And I belong to Viscount Will, how dare he touch me? Impossible. P.S. It's a new day. Hello everyone, I'm looking for all the data on my new book. Monthly tickets for collecting flowers, reviews and rewards. Chapter 12. Haha, Viscount Will, isn't Grant that stupid pig? Stop daydreaming here, you have to know that this idiot Baron is a madman. By the way, I have another news for you, that idiot Baron has led people to ransack Grant's house, now Grant's grain is probably in his hands, so don't say we don't dare to raise grain prices now, even if we really dare, we can't stop him. His food reserves are already quite large. What? How could he dare? That's Viscount Will's food, damn it. This idiot, how dare he be? For a moment, they all became angry and frightened, and ransacked their homes. For him, this was as uncomfortable as killing them. All their family assets are here. Once their home is confiscated, nothing will be lost. So what should we do? Someone asked. He seemed to be scared. Either leave here or fight with him, another person said viciously. The cost of leaving here, food, transportation, and guard troops are not a small sum, and more importantly, winter is approaching. This is too dangerous. If you are not careful, you may die in an accident. So I suggest only give it a try. If we kill him and replace him as a baron, we can still make money. What do you think? But, those are nobles. If you kill a noble, you will be beheaded. Moreover, are we strong enough? It shouldn't be enough. Yes, this is not possible. Killing nobles is too risky. Several people panicked and couldn't help but say, but some people seemed to agree with this decision. That's right, it's too late now. Winter is approaching and the wilderness is extremely dangerous. Once we encounter a bandit group, we have nothing. You might even die. Instead of doing this, it's better to kill him. I can dispatch 10 people. They are all first-level professionals and very powerful. Then 2 or 3 more people took a stand and said yes, but this is obviously not enough. 20 or 30 level 1 professionals and a few level 2 professionals, which seems like a lot, but in fact it is really not that big. Useful. But at this moment, the fat grain merchant who spoke first spoke. I have a plan. What's the plan? I just received news that Viscount Will's Red Knight bandits have returned to Greystone Village to loot. The specific data should only be available in the next few days, so we just need to wait a little longer and then cooperate with them internally and externally. This would definitely kill that damn idiot Baron. As soon as these words came out, the whole place was dead silent, but then it suddenly became excited. Viscount Will, real or fake? I know the Red Knight bandit group. It is a powerful bandit group with level 4 professionals. Are they really coming? Of course it's true. The fat grain merchant smiled sinisterly, and said with fierce eyes, that guy Omar is dead, and only Matt German is left. If he can be killed, this Greystone village can become Viscount Will. Yes, Viscount Will is very interested in this matter, so he is ready to try it, and we just need to help them succeed. Next, we have the final say in this Greystone village, understand? Upon hearing this, the grain merchants also became excited and expressed their stance without hesitation. Well, it's settled. When the Red Knight bandits come together, we will rebel and kill them. It's all that damn idiot's ignorance. He actually wants us noble and wealthy people to raise those damn untouchables. He is really looking for death? Yes, kill him. Their attitudes were soon unified, so they immediately stopped as if nothing had happened. However, it only lasted a few days. That temple marksman, Zine, suddenly came back. Lord, a group of people came from the mountains 2 or 3 hours north of the city. If I guessed correctly, their target should be us, Xion said. Upon hearing this, Raymond immediately understood. It seems that those so-called bandit groups are here. Xion, how many are there? What about strength? How is the strength? Raymond asked. Lord, there are about 30 of them. Most of them are level 1 and level 2 professionals, then there are 5 level 3 professionals, and there are 2 level 4 professionals, and they are basically all warriors. For us, the threat is small, Sheen said calmly. Yep. Ha. After saying this, Raymond was also happy and said, in this case, that guy, Sean, I'll leave your next actions to you. Remember, Safety comes first, and capture them as much as possible. I'm useful, I know Lord, but I found that I will complete the task successfully." Xian nodded and turned to leave, but at the same time, the temple archer Haberg suddenly came. "Lord, I noticed that the grain merchants seem to be taking action. They seem to be gathering troops. What do you think we should do next, grain merchant?" Raymond was stunned for a moment, then immediately reacted and murmured. "So are these guys working together? Those gangs of robbers are here, and these grain merchants who have been quiet for several days are also moving. Do you think this is a coincidence? No fool can believe it. Therefore, the only possibility is that they are in a group and are preparing to cooperate inside and outside." Thinking of this, Raymond showed a little sneer and fierce light in his eyes. "Very good, I didn't plan to take action against you originally, but since you want to die so much, that's just right. Now I can raid your home with peace of mind." Humph, Lemon snorted coldly, and then said quickly. "Sheen, Haberg, go directly and kill those guys. One by one, anyone involved in this matter will be killed. Remember, be quiet and don't alert others. He was discovered by those guys outside the city, clear?" "Lord, let's go now, it's just a few grains, and the armed forces are not on the same level as them." So in less than an hour, the grain merchants in the east of the city who thought they were sneaking around and hiding trouble were killed by Sheen, Haberg and the others served a pot. At the same time, a large number of copper coins, silver coins, gold coins, and even magic cores were moved in front of Raymond, especially the magic core. There were more than 100, there are 103 level 1 magic cores, 22 level 2 magic cores, and 5 level 3 magic cores, a total of 130. In other words, after this wave, Raymond's army in the temple castle has directly undergone a qualitative change. The number has doubled. It has become enough. Temple Lancer x 139, Temple Grand Guard x 30, Temple Archer x 9, Temple Marksman x 2. Chapter 13. As for the food? Not to mention, it all belongs to him. It's a huge amount of money. So next, it's time to watch those clowns' performances. Haha. Viscount will? Just wait for me. If I can't trick you this time, I won't call you Raymond, Raymond murmured, and then quickly began to recruit an army, and then began his layout. In this way, night soon arrived, darkness descended on the earth, and some uninvited guests slowly appeared outside Greystone Village. "Hull, is this a bad place? It doesn't look very good either. Do you need to be so careful? Wouldn't it be better to just go in?" A burly warrior over 2 meters tall with fat ears and a big head said with disdain. It can be seen that he is very confident in his strength. And this is also the case. His name is Mando, one of the 4 great 4 of the Red Knight Bandits. One of the most advanced warriors, he is indeed very powerful. Even some monsters of the same level are not as powerful as him. There are quite a few. Grow your brain. Don't forget, that guy Matt German is here. Are you his opponent? Can you beat him? The tall knight called Hell said coldly. Matt German? Hearing this name, Mando seemed to be discouraged, but he still said hard, "So what? He is just a person here. We are just human beings. Are we afraid of him if we join forces? I don't want anything to go wrong, understand?" Hell said coldly, then waved his hand and said coldly. "Be careful, don't make any noise. Go in first and check out the situation. Also, the grain merchants in the city will also work with us. They are all members of Lord Viscount will. Be careful then and don't cause any trouble, you know." "Yes," the other robbers nodded quietly, but at this moment, something changed suddenly. Call out, call out." In this silent and deep night, 2 arrows suddenly struck silently, and they penetrated straight into Hell in his many thighs. Then poof! 2 puffs, blood surged. This shock made them fall to the ground. "I can't even stand still during the battle. Enemy attack, get your weapons and get ready to fight." Hell's face changed drastically, and he held his thigh and roared. But at this moment, a calm and indifferent voice came over. "If I were you, I would choose to be captured instead of seeking death. What do you think? Woolen cloth, who is there? Get out!" Mando roared angrily, and even a trace of fighting spirit bloomed in his body, which looked extremely dazzling. But at this moment, who? 2 more silent arrows struck, and the speed was so fast that it was almost shocking. People were shocked. He flew straight towards Mando. But after all, Mando was also a level 4 advanced warrior who had mastered fighting spirit. At this critical moment, He still reacted and quickly waved the weapon in his palm. The giant sword blocked one of the arrows with a clang. But at the same time, the other one directly pierced through his right arm. There was a slap and blood spurted out. It was extremely terrifying. Next time, I'll kill you. If you don't believe it, you can try it. The calm and indifferent voice came again, which also made Nahur and Mando silent. They even became frightened. Are you a marksman? Who are you? Hel said with a pale face. Da. At this moment, footsteps suddenly came from the quiet gray stone village, and then they became louder and louder, more and more. Until finally, more than 100 troops from the Holy Temple Castle came out of the gray stone village and surrounded them all. As soon as this scene happened, whether it was the many or the Hel, or the others, they were all in despair. No, it's impossible. How could there be so many? Who are you? Who is he? They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The gap in numbers and strength was like a huge mountain, weighing them down so much that they couldn't even lift their heads. It was so terrifying. If you lay down your weapons, give up resistance, and surrender, you can live. Otherwise, you will die. At this moment, the calm and indifferent voice sounded again. Look carefully, who is it if it's not Sheen? At this moment, he is standing on the low city wall, raising a bow and arrow in his hand and aiming at them, and it's not just him. Portman, Haberg, and the other Templar archers also made the same move, with 10 bows and arrows locked on them. Above, the arrows were flashing. The cold light and arrow edge felt like the scythe of death, making it impossible for bandits like them to have any courage to resist. So some people began to throw down their weapons and silently knelt down with their heads in their hands. Then more and more, until everyone gives up resistance and surrenders. Obviously, they are just bandits, not an army. They don't want to die. At the moment of life and death, they will definitely be weak and will never be able to harden. However, at this moment, Xian suddenly waved his hand, and then saw the temple spearmen directly raising their weapons and shooting at the arms of the enemies who were kneeling and surrendering. Ah, pain, screams broke out, but no one dared to say anything. Why was this happening? It was very simple. It destroyed their combat effectiveness. Take them all away. Xian waved his hand, then turned around and left, going back to resume his life. Well done, Sheen. Well done. Ha. After receiving the good news, Raymond immediately became happy. Now everything was solved. The crisis, food, and even the strength of the army were all solved perfectly. Really well done. Thank you for the compliment, Lord, but what are we going to do with those people? Asked Sheen. Find 2 people and put them back, and tell them that if they want to redeem people, they need 2 level 5 magic cores, and they must do so before winter comes, otherwise they will all be killed. Lemon's eyes brightened up and he said, yes, this is his plan, the prisoners will be ransomed. He doesn't believe that the so-called Viscount will give up on the black hand power of the bandit group that he has worked so hard to cultivate, so this must-have is going to give him a stick. Let's start with a lion's opening, level 5 magic core. And it's still 2 pieces. It's the best you can get, and it doesn't matter if you don't get it. Let's talk slowly, it's not a loss anyway. And if he can succeed. The griffin he has been longing for is about to come. The level 3 ordinary griffin is comparable to the level 5 earth warrior. A strong man of this level, even in the big cities of the great nobles, they are all definitely respectable, and they are griffins. So handsome. Such a cool flying unit, who doesn't love this? He has been thinking about it for a long time. He is so greedy. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Love Give Back. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 14. I know Lord, I will do it immediately. Xian nodded and quickly turned around to leave. At the same time, Raymond also began to think about other things. His external risks have now been eliminated. The food gap is no longer a problem, so is it time to think about other things? Forget about anything else, let's fix the dirty and messy living environment in Greystone Village first. I have to say, he really can't stand this garbage place anymore, so he immediately found Nailmara and asked him to find some stonemasons and blacksmiths. If you want to improve your life, you must start with food, clothing, housing and transportation. Food, if you do it, clothing and transportation, you don't have the conditions yet. So you should start with where you live. Cement, if we could get this thing out, It would really be much more convenient. Cement is a necessary condition for large-scale infrastructure construction. As a Chinese, the soul of large-scale infrastructure construction is definitely his destiny. And the core of this is cement. It is not only simple, but also very practical. But the only thing he is not sure about is, what is the world like? Whether there is limestone. After all, that thing is the key. Soon, the 3 stonemasons and blacksmiths were brought to Raymond. After a conversation, he determined that whether it was limestone, iron, sand or water, there was. Then of course this is not difficult. After briefly explaining the general process of making the cement, Raymond let them go back to do experiments on their own. To put it bluntly, he only knew a rough idea of the methods, and he only had half a bucket of water. Not as good, so letting him come will definitely not work. However, these old masters should not have a big problem. After all, as long as you know the method, it is just a matter of proportions. Just try it a few times and you will be fine. It is definitely not a big problem. Then Raymond he called Irma again, released a batch of grain at cost, and disbanded the hunting group and became a new guard, which was his Templar Castle army. Everything started to go well. With the direction of development, the originally lifeless, dilapidated and numb gray stone village has begun to look more vibrant than ever before. What is this? This is change. Everyone's faces have more colorful looks, or I mean, smile. This is a really rare thing for them. Everything is getting better, and at the same time, a few days later, the 2 young bandits of the Red Knight bandit group who were released, Raymond's conditions have already reached the ears of Viscount Will. Bitten City, Viscount Will's castle. What did you say? Are all those losers captured? The ransom for 2 level 5 magic cores. Why didn't he die? Damn it, what is he? I want to kill him. A furious voice burst out from the mouth of the old Viscount Will, which even frightened the entire servants in the Viscount Will family castle to tremble and dare not move. For them, Viscount? No, then it's simply a devil. Cruel. A devil with no humanity. Too many people have died in his hands. No one is not afraid of him. Father, don't be angry. Since there is a problem, it must be solved. A calm voice came. A middle-aged man wearing a noble knight's armor said coldly and calmly. His body exuded amazing fighting spirit. It was majestic, sparkling, and very attractive at first sight. Powerful. Much more powerful than even those level 4 senior warriors. Obviously, this is a level 5 strong man, a level 5 Earth Knight. At the same time, this is also the biggest support of Viscount Noel. Evan, you are my dearest son. How do you think we should handle this matter? Damn it. Obviously that guy Omar is dead, but how could they still have such strength? Could it be that Matt German, father, Matt German's strength is pretty good, and he also has the potential to become an Earth Knight, so I guess it's because of him, right? Evan said lightly. As soon as he said this, Viscount Will's expression changed drastically. What? Evan, you said he is already a level 5 Earth Knight? How can this be? Apart from this, there should be no other possibility, and if not, they should not dare to offend us, Evan said lightly. So, what should we do? Do we really need to give them 2 level 5 magic cores? This is possible, Viscount Will said worriedly. For his level of status and strength, he doesn't care about level 4 professionals. Because his son, his support, is a great and powerful level 5 Earth Knight. But if the opponent is also level 5? This is a big problem. He can't offend such an enemy unless he has 2. Although he is greedy, he is not that stupid. After all, it is level 5, it's definitely impossible to have 2. But 1, we should take it out. After all, Manjo and Hull are our important subordinates. Without them, our income will be reduced a lot, and some inconvenient and dirty things will become very troublesome. Evan shook his head and said. As soon as he said this, Viscount Will's face became a little uncertain. Of course he knew that his son was right. As the most powerful armed force under his command, the Red Knight bandit group, the power is much stronger than even his own escort. He invested a lot of effort, which also made his bandit group one of the most powerful bandit groups in dozens of nearby cities. There is a steady stream of people every year. It provides them with a lot of income, but if this black hand is broken and the losses are heavy, no matter what, he will be involved and suffer huge losses. So no matter what, he must take care of this matter. He must redeem the person before talking about it. But, do we really need to give level 5 magic cores? You also know the value of this thing. I originally planned to leave it to you. My dear son, are you really willing to give it to them? Viscount Will said with pain. To him, the value of level 5 magic cores is definitely heirloom level. He only has 1 or 2 of them. If he really wants to give one away, it will be even more uncomfortable than killing him. Father, I'm just storing it with them temporarily, it's nothing, haha, Evan sneered and said coldly. As long as they are willing to let them go, we can come back and fight back from them. It's just that winter is coming, which is too troublesome and a little dangerous. After this winter, I can go there and see for myself what the situation is. And even if Matt German becomes level 5, it won't matter. His strength is definitely not as good as mine. When the time comes, I will make them pay. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Feedback. Deposit 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. Real. Viscount Will's eyes lit up, and then he gritted his teeth and said, "Well, that's it." Soon, under the cover of night, Viscount Will's envoy quietly left here with a level 5 magic core. After a few days of this, he finally arrived at the Greystone village. "Dear Baron, please forgive me. There may be some misunderstanding between us, but it doesn't matter. On behalf of Viscount Will, I send his apology, please accept him." The messenger neatly placed a box containing the magic core in front of Raymond. Raymond laughed immediately, then opened the box and took a look. A shiny purple magic core the size of a fist was printed like this came into his eyes. At the same time, the familiar and pleasant sound of the system prompts sounded again. Ding. Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 3 ordinary soldiers, griffins? At that moment, Raymond's eyes suddenly narrowed into a smile. It's coming, it's finally coming. Ha ha ha, he finally got the griffin he had been longing for. So he closed the lid of the box and said calmly, "I've accepted the things, you can go." The envoy was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect it to go so smoothly, but he still laughed and said, "Thank you, Lord Baron. Then, I wonder where Hull and Mando are? If it's not too much trouble, please send someone to take me there." "Take you there? Why should I take you there?" However, Raymond looked at him with a half-smile. This smile and these words directly made the messenger's heart skip a beat, and his face changed drastically. "No, Lord Baron, you, it seems that he has realized that Raymond is preparing to turn his back on him. Black and white. He's anxious. Said quickly. "Lord Baron, didn't you promise us?" Before he finished speaking, he was interrupted. "I'm talking about 2 level 5 magic cores, and there's only 1 here, so what did I promise you?" The messenger suddenly broke into cold sweat and turned pale. Because he knew that it was over. It was over. Maybe the other party had no intention of letting him go from the beginning. This was completely a conspiracy. Get lost now, you can still be alive, otherwise, it's up to you, Lemon said calmly, and the envoy suddenly started to tremble. Then he had no choice but to turn around and leave quickly. At this point, it was beyond his ability, so he had to leave. Because he didn't want to die. When he saw this scene, Raymond also burst out laughing. Let them go? How is it possible? If it weren't for the purpose of defrauding the other party of the ransom, he would have killed them all. Just kidding, he is not the virgin. Since he felt that they were ashamed, Ishimura's attention is that a price must be paid. And this price is death. Okay, it's time to inspect the goods. Then Raymond left the castle with cheerful steps and came to the training ground. At the same time, he said reluctantly, "System, I want to recruit." Ding. Host, please note that you have successfully recruited the 3rd level ordinary soldier, the Griffin. Ding. Attention, Host Raymond, congratulations, you have successfully recruited the 3rd level ordinary soldier, Griffin. You have gained 30 years of fighting spirit cultivation, and you have gained the Griffin bloodline, Rumble. At that moment, the holy light fighting key in Raymond's body suddenly surged. Then his power also began to surge instantly. He directly broke through to the category of level 5 Earth Warrior. And more importantly, this time in his body, actually there is also the Griffin bloodline. This power makes his body's strength and quality much stronger. At the same time, he even got a bloodline power, Beast transformation. Griffin transformation. These powers and the skills were integrated into his body, and in an instant, it was as if he had mastered it, as if he had practiced and practiced it countless times before. So cool, it is indeed produced by the system, it is really awesome. Raymond suddenly became excited. Transform into a beast. Transform into a griffin. This can even allow him to directly transform into a griffin hero. His strength will increase dramatically. At the same time, a three-dimensional beast appeared directly in front of him out of thin air. A huge mythical creature 4 meters high. It is the third-level ordinary soldier of the temple castle, and it is also a flying soldier. The griffin is a warcraft soldier. It has sunshine-like feathers and fur, huge wings, and a lion-like body. The back half of the body, the eagle-like head, and the forelimbs were all covered with the golden eagle feathers. It looked majestic and majestic. With a bang, the griffin knelt in front of Raymond and said respectfully, "Griffin Owens, see the respected great lord, welcome to join us, Owens. Get up, don't be so polite," Raymond said with a smile, then patted Owens's majestic forelimb paws and said softly, "Can you let me feel your power?" Owens, of course, respect the great lord, you need me to do this, whether it's killing the enemy or anything else, I can do it, Owens said without hesitation. No, I mean let me feel your power. Show your strength and attack me. Raymond smiled and shook his head. Owens was stunned for a moment and hesitated. But, trust me Owens, what do you think this is? Raymond said as he raised his hand, and then his hand actually changed. With a buzzing sound, the light shone. In just a second or two, the sharp and powerful griffin claws replaced his hand. Is this the griffin hero transforming into a beast? Owens was shocked. He was pleasantly surprised, as expected of you, Lord. You actually have the heroic power of our griffin family. Lord, you are so powerful, so come on, give it a try, I want to see what my current strength is like, Raymond said with a smile. I understand, Lord, please be careful. Owens took a breath, and then suddenly raised its sharp claws, tearing them directly down in the air, and smashed down hard towards Raymond. Bang! But that was also struck by Raymond with a lion. The sharp claws of the eagle flew out and collided with it. Then they both trembled and took a few steps back as if they couldn't control it. But Raymond only took 2 or 3 steps, and Owens had enough. 4 or 5 steps back. Almost twice as much? Lord, you are very powerful, much more powerful than me. You are awesome, Owens said without hesitation. This also made Raymond understand that his current strength should be considered a top powerhouse among the level 5 professionals, right? After all, it is not just strength, he also has Holy Light fighting ki and Holy Light sword technique. With these, his will definitely be better, even to the next level. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Reward. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Event time, September 29th until October 6th. Chapter 16. Very good. The future is promising. Ha ha ha. Raymond couldn't help laughing, then patted Owens and said, Owens, you can move freely next, as long as you don't run too far. If anything happens, I'll call you again. I understand, Lord. If there is anything you need me to do, please be sure to call me. I am at your service, my great lord, Owens said quickly. Then he flapped his wings and flew high. He roared in the sky roar. For a time, the roar shook the sky and the earth, almost spreading throughout the entire Greystone village. Hiss. What is this sound? The devil is a monster. Look. What is that in the sky? Flying monster? What is that? It's so scary. He looks so powerful. It's over. How could such a powerful monster appear here? Is he here to attack us? What? No. What should I do? He is so terrible. I can't even look up at it. No. Look, why did he fly away? He doesn't seem to have any intention of attacking us. Could it be that is our Lord's magical beast, keeping monsters in captivity? How can it be? This is impossible. This monster looks so scary. How could it be a captive monster? This is impossible. Fly away. He really flies away. Owens' high-profile action shocked the entire Greystone village villagers. After all, the appearance of the Griffin family is indeed too intimidating, with a height of 3 to 4 meters, huge wings, a strong and powerful body, and even sharp griffin claws. In all of this, no one is stupid enough to doubt its power, so the impact and shock are undoubtedly extremely huge. Almost the entire Greystone village people were involved in this, and it was difficult to calm down. Regarding this, Raymond was stunned for a moment, and then he laughed. Although Owens's move was indeed a bit high profile, it didn't matter. Now all internal and external troubles have been eliminated. It's not a big deal to be more high profile. On the contrary, it can even boost the mood and confidence of some Greystone villages. This is beneficial and harmless to him. Moreover, wealth and honor do not return to their hometown, just like walking in brocade at night. He is so powerful and has such a powerful griffin unit, why can't he show it off? He wants it. Ha 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 ha. Then Raymond started thinking again, counting the time. It should be almost there. Winter is approaching, and Uncle Matt German and the others should be back soon. In this way, it should be able to end perfectly and wait for the arrival of winter. I also hope that this winter can be more stable now, otherwise, if something goes wrong in winter, it will basically be a big problem, Raymond murmured. When winter comes, the temperature plummets, starting at least 20 or 30 degrees below zero. In this kind of weather, all actions will enter a slow pace and will be restrained by the cold temperature. Such a situation, if it comes, there will definitely be fewer troubles and problems, but this does not mean that they will disappear. On the contrary, when the natural environment conditions are so bad, it is not bad if there are no problems. If there are problems, they will basically be big problems. They will be quite big. Troublesome. So in winter, stability is the most important. Especially during the cold wave in February, try not to move if you can. It's best to drag it out. Sure enough, early the next morning, Matt German and Nanagus finally returned after a long journey. However, as for the changes in Greystone Village, or to be more precise, regarding the changes in the army of the Holy Temple Castle and the armed forces of Greystone Village, these also gave Matt German an extremely huge impact and shock. Lei Meng, this is a level 5 monster. How did it appear in our Greystone Village? Isn't this dangerous? Looking at the Griffin Owens, who looked very dangerous at first sight, Matt German tensed up. He said in disbelief. This is level 5. And it's a flying monster. This is too exaggerated. This kind of powerful, how could a monster appear in their Greystone Village? He couldn't be dreaming, could he? Ha ha ha, don't worry, Uncle Matt German, he is mine, so he will definitely not be in danger. Come on, let me introduce you, Uncle Matt German. This is Owens the Griffin. Owens, this is my Uncle Matt German, Raymond said with a smile. Lion, Griffin, Matt German was in a daze, obviously unfamiliar with this name. But no matter what, the facts are before his eyes, and he can only believe it. This is all true. Hello, I'm Owens, don't worry, don't be afraid of me. We are all subordinates of the Lord, I will not attack my own people, don't worry, Owens said carelessly. Matt German also reacted immediately, and then immediately solemnly made a knightly salute to Owens. Then he spoke again. Hello Owens, it's Matt German, it's an honor to meet you. As for Nagus, he is not as restrained as he is. After all, everyone is part of the Templar Castle army, so he is naturally familiar with these powerful griffins. In a sense, this is also the signature of their Templar Castle. Uncle Matt German, how was your harvest this time? Lehman asked again. Then he saw Matt German quickly taking off the package behind him, carefully placing it in front of Raymond and saying, Lord Baron, this is the result of our hunting trip. 2 level 4 magic cores, level 4 magic core. Raymond was stunned for a moment, a little surprised, and a little pleasantly surprised. Although he now has a griffin, there is still a shortage of the level 2 enhanced weapon temple marksman. You must know that before this, he only had a griffin. It's only 2, now it's doubled. That's right, level 4 magic core, because you said you want a higher level magic core. Therefore, Nagus and I took matters into our own hands and exchanged a level 4 magic core with others on the Palos Plateau, Matt German said cautiously, as if he was a little worried that he had really done something wrong. You guys did a great job Uncle Matt German, Nags, thank you for your hard work. Aware of the other party's emotions, Raymond suddenly laughed. Said, level 4 magic core, round it up. That is the Holy Temple marksman of the Holy Temple Castle. Think about how easy it was for them to deal with the people of the Red Knight Bandit group before rude and direct. You know how high their value is. So of course he will not be dissatisfied. At this moment, Matt German suddenly asked Lord Baron, what happened with the Red Knight Bandit group? P.S. Hello everyone, it's a new day. I pray for the new book Shame of Data. Thank you. If you like it, add it to your collection and give me a monthly ticket for your evaluation. Chapter 17. Don't worry, everything is fine, everything has been resolved. Lemon immediately smiled and said. Solved. Matt German was stunned for a moment, but when he saw Sheen, Haberg, Portman, and even Owens, I couldn't help laughing again. Ha ha ha, yes, their Greystone village is already so strong now. There must be nothing wrong with just some bandit gang rubbish. They must be here or die. Then, you can just wait for winter to arrive. It shouldn't be a few days, Matt German exclaimed. In the past, the arrival of winter has been very stressful for them, but now, this stress seems to have disappeared. Now he sees magic and hope in Raymond, so he no longer worries about the coming of dangerous winter. Because he felt that they could deal with all these troubles. The future is promising. Ho ha ho ha. But they were happy, but Viscount Will was really in pain. Vitten City, Viscount Will's castle. Waste, 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 you damn waste. What have you done? I'll kill you. In front of Viscount Will, who was holding a sharp sword, the envoy who had gone to Greystone Village had already fallen into a pool of blood, and even had many swords pierced through him. The angry Viscount Will vented the anger in his heart. Because he really didn't expect that the damn Baron of Greystone Village would dare to take advantage of others. After eating his magic core, you still dare to turn against him. Damn it. Damn it. And in this case, not only will he suffer heavy losses, but what is the difference between him and the clown? Humiliation. At this moment, he really felt hugely humiliated and provoked. He was so angry that he was trembling all over, wishing he could send troops to Greystone Village right now to chop off that damn Raymond's head. Kill him for revenge. But it's not just him. At this moment, his son in the room, the extremely powerful level 5 Earth Knight, also has an ugly look on his face. It was as if he had swallowed a mouse. His face was ashen and extremely ugly. A while passed like this. I saw him suddenly stand up and drop a word, saying, Father, I am responsible for this matter, but don't worry, I will solve the problem. Next spring, I will personally lead the troops to attack that damn stupid Baron, and Orin seems to be on the verge of a breakthrough, and may be very likely to succeed this winter. By then I will join forces with him, even if they really have level 5. I'll make them pay too. Believe me. What? Viscount Will trembled all over, and then became ecstatic. Okay. Don't worry, Evan, you are my dearest son, of course I thank you. Then let them survive another winter. After the beginning of spring, you can use all my troops. How dare you humiliate me, snort. Then they must pay the price. Kill him, Evan, we can definitely do it, I am the great Viscount Will. In the last few days of winter, everything began to become very quiet and peaceful. But only Raymond and his Bryan family castle were still very lively. This was because in the early days, the stonemasons and blacksmiths in their Greystone village had already helped him restore the cement in the experiment, and after a certain degree of mixing with the characteristics of this world's materials, its effect and strength seemed to have become better, so Raymond planned to take advantage of it. In this last period of time, he should renovate his castle and manor. After all, those were called castles before. But in fact they were just some stone houses. It was really uncomfortable for him to live in. Lord Baron, you are really amazing. These things called cement are actually so magical? It really opened my eyes. Matt German stood at the construction site and sighed. Over the past few days, he has been more and more surprised, shocked, and numb at Raymond's various magical changes. He really felt that this little nephew seemed to have received a blessing from some kind of god. Everything became incredible. It was really magical, but he also knew that this must be a good thing. So he accepted it all happily. This thing is indeed quite magical, but it's a pity that winter is approaching and we don't have much time. Otherwise, we could overthrow and rebuild our entire Greystone village. By then, ours will no longer be a Greystone village, but a city, a real city. Lemon's eyes flickered. Why are the accommodation conditions in this world so poor? Because they are almost all wooden houses. At least a vast majority of them in Greystone Village are like this. The only castle in the entire Greystone Village is the castle of their Blaine family. A stone house, but the problem is that this kind of house is very poor to live in. There is no comfort or elegance at all. Therefore, he thought that he must get out the cement. After all, in his opinion, urban construction and major infrastructure are necessary. What's the condition? It's the cement. This cement can be used in road construction, house construction, dams, road bridges, underground equipment, etc., and the effect is definitely very widespread. More importantly, if he wants this Greystone village when it comes to development, one's own strength is one thing, as is its own conditions, environment, etc., which is also a very important aspect. Whether a city is good or not, city construction is also the key, so he plans to tear everything down and start a new one. Exquisite and orderly Greystone City. Yes, Lord Baron, with our current strength, it is definitely possible to build a city. With this magical thing of cement, we only need to wait until winter is over before we can start taking action. After spring, everything revives, and then we can start building our new city. These are really exciting, Matt German said with emotion. After spring, Li Meng murmured, and then nodded. After the spring begins, it will only be a few months anyway. More has passed, and it will not be short of these few months. By the way, Uncle Matt German, do we have enough food reserves now? And what about those heating resources? There shouldn't be any big problems, right? Raymond asked again. Don't worry, there will definitely be no problem. Those damn greedy, black-hearted grains have too much grain. That food is enough for us to eat for several months. Who would have thought that you would confiscate their homes? Ha ha ha, Matt German couldn't help but laugh. In fact, when he first learned the news, he was really a little panicked. Chapter 18. Grain merchants, everyone knows that it is impossible for someone with no background, or a person with a weak background, to become a grain merchant. Behind any black-hearted grain merchant, there are big figures who control and support them. After all, this is their money bag. In this world, grain is definitely a huge profit, and it is completely a money grab. So in their subconscious mind, they never thought about daring to attack those hateful black-hearted grain merchants. But Raymond doesn't care about you, disobedient? Just kill him and then confiscate your home. With so little strength, do you really think you are so great? How can it be? Raymond doesn't want to do this at all. For him, this is also his pocketbook, and he has contributed a lot to him. They're just a bunch of stupid pigs. I don't have any strength. Do you really think I'm afraid of them? These idiots will kill them if they want. Unfortunately, they still have too few magic cores, not even a level 4 one, so poor, Raymond complained. Upon hearing this, Matt German's eyes flashed and he said, Lord Baron, if you are in great need of magic cores, we can consider going out hunting a few more times after winter arrives. Out hunting? Raymond was stunned for a moment and said in surprise. Will this work? Isn't it said that winter will be very dangerous? That's right, winter is here and temperatures plummet. The natural environment is harsh and this will definitely be dangerous, but, Matt German nodded and said with squinted eyes. But it's not completely incapacitated. Portman, Harburg and others are at level 3, Sheen, Nags and others are at level 4, and even Owens and others are at level 5. They should be fine. If it is just a small-scale hunting trip, I think it is completely feasible, and more importantly, it can also help us make up for the lack of food and meat. Lemon was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes flickered. Yes, we have food, but meat is still a problem. Although after raiding those black-hearted food houses, the senior officials, must have no shortage of meat to eat. But those people at the bottom definitely don't want to taste meat. Although in fact, it is already very good to allow them to have enough food and not starve. But he feels that if he can have this strength, and if he can get the best of both worlds, there is nothing wrong with letting the people in his territory eat meat and live a better life. Right? Thinking of this, he nodded and said, I know, Uncle Matt German, you can try it then. Matt German nodded, and then spoke again. Lord Baron, one more thing. What? Refugees? Raymond was stunned for a moment, and then he came to his senses. You mean the people who fled? That's right, Matt German nodded and said with emotion. With the arrival of winter, the natural environment is extremely harsh, resulting in food shortages in many small fiefdom villages. Generally, at this time, there are only two options, either waste, use, or banish the old, young, and weak to alleviate food pressure, but, generally, there are only a few people who are so cruel, so most of the time, when winter comes, there will be a lot of refugees in the wild. After hearing this, Raymond suddenly became a little silent. Using waste? Isn't that just cannibalism? For him, he really can't stand it, but he knows that this is also reality, a cruel reality. This no way. So he shook his head and said, if there are refugees coming, please accept them all. It just so happens that I think our population in Greystone Village is too small. When the whole thing is demolished and rebuilt in the early spring of next year, the bigger the population, the better, but the scale of the refugees may exceed your imagination, Med German reminds. They do have a lot of food now, but this is only based on their current population of more than 1,000, so what if it is 5,000? What about 10,000? By then, the food may not be enough, and this is also a real problem. It doesn't matter, since we can go out hunting, it shouldn't be a big problem. Let's talk about it then, but Raymond still nodded, he understands the truth. But if you should do it, you still have to do it. After all, the boat will be straight when it reaches the bridge, and he has already cheated. He really doesn't believe that this small problem can solve the problem. Stump him. I see, Met German nodded and laughed at the same time. As a subordinate, he must clarify the interests for the Lord, but from a psychological point of view, he still hopes that Raymond will do this. After all, if he is a very selfish person, as a human being, he wouldn't have been so determined to stay and want to help Raymond get through this mess. His behavior reflects his character. To be honest, he was really okay. Nothing happened in the next few days. At best, the people of Greystone Village were shocked and frightened by the existence of the Griffin Owens, and slowly turned into surprise, admiration, envy, excitement and happiness. Because they already know that this one looks extremely powerful. The extremely terrifying flying monster is actually their great lord's monster pet. And for them, this is absolutely great news. If their Greystone Village can be protected by such a powerful monster, then they will be completely safe throughout the next winter, and even from now on. So, long live the Lord. Long live the Lord. Ha 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 ha. A few days later, winter arrived, heavy snow fell overnight, and the temperature in the entire Greystone Village plummeted by at least 30 to 40 degrees. Completely white, this is winter, and it lives up to its name. It's so cold. Standing on the top of the newly built Bryan family castle and looking into the distance, Raymond sighed. Everything he saw was snow white. The ground was as white as snow, the snowflakes were flying, and it was bitingly cold. Moreover, this was just one night. Everything was snow white. Everything actually accumulated a layer of snow thick enough to submerge his legs. You can imagine what this concept is. The power of this winter is somewhat greater than he imagined. Although the original body has these things in his memory, is one thing, but now he has experienced it personally, this is another thing. If according to the saying on the earth, the body temperature is at least 30 or 40 degrees below zero, isn't it cold? It's weird that it's not cold. It's really cold. Even if this is nothing to his current level 5 professional strength, it is absolutely fatal to ordinary people, even the old, weak, sick and disabled. Even for those weaker professionals, level 1, level 2, I'm afraid it's hard to resist. A natural disaster. This is really scary. I didn't expect it's already so cold in the early winter, Lord Baron. It seems that this year's cold wave in February will be terrible, Irmela. The tax collector was wrapped in several layers of thick clothes, but he was still shaking all over, and his face was black and stiff from the cold. P.S. Diddy, please data, please pull, family affection feedback during the Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day. Deposit 100 and get 500 VIP points for free. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 19. Ordinary people? He is that ordinary person. So such a natural disaster is really a devastating blow to him. And this is only the beginning of winter, and it will transition to winter after half a month of early winter. Then, another month later comes the most terrifying period of winter, the cold wave in February. In short, just thinking about it can make your scalp numb and make you feel suffocated. There's no other way, just take it slow, that's all you can do. Raymond shook his head, and then said, by the way, Irmela, send people door to door to deliver some meat. Irmela was stunned for a moment, but still nodded and said, Lord Baron, is it pig meat or warcraft meat? Let's start with the pork first. The warcraft meat will cool down after a while, Raymond said. There are two types of meat in this world, warcraft meat and pork. The latter, as the name suggests, is a general term. Its true meaning is ordinary meat specially cultivated for consumption. In addition to being meat, it is basically there is no advantage at all. It's just a little better than those ordinary grains. The last one is warcraft meat. Warcraft meat contains magical power, so eating this kind of meat will have many benefits, including strengthening the body, dispelling heat, and even saving lives. It's possible. So in a sense, this warcraft meat is also one of the must-haves in winter. Almost all of the pig reserves he has in hand come from the previous family stock, as well as the stolen goods from the black-hearted grain. So the quantity is pretty good. As for the warcraft meat, of course, it is much less. After confiscating some of the house, there is still some original storage capacity, and then there is hunting. It seems that there is one more channel, but there are still not many. So I can only use it sparingly. I see. Almira smiled bitterly and nodded silently. If it were him before, he would definitely refute and distribute meat door to door. To him, this was crazy. It is already a great kindness to let him have food to eat. Give me meat? How can this be? What is this? What a pure injustice. But he didn't dare to say it, and for some reason, he also had a strange feeling in his heart now, that is, Lord Barren, he is such a good person. Good guy? He used to think it was a curse word, but now, he doesn't seem to think so anymore. It seems that it's right to love the people more, be kinder, and resent others more. Just like that, some of his thinking began to change. The next few days were quiet and safe, and nothing happened. However, Raymond discovered that the level of the trophies brought by Awakens and the others was getting higher and higher. Got it. Uncle Matt German, could hunting get any easier in the winter? Why do I feel that your level of hunting monsters is getting higher and higher? Raymond asked curiously. That's not true. Matt German shook his head and explained. Generally, the level of warcraft that can go out in winter is higher than that in other seasons. Winter is severely cold and the natural environment is extremely harsh. Even low-level monsters will go out less often and mostly stay dormant. Therefore, under normal circumstances, there will be fewer level 1 and level 2 monsters in winter. Higher-level monsters will also be more common. I see. Raymond suddenly understood, and then he became more interested and asked, well, Uncle Matt German, have you found any more powerful monsters recently? Level 4 or 5? I want to give it a try. You? Matt German was stunned for a moment, but when he thought of Raymond's holy light fighting spirit that he had seen before, then he felt relieved. He spoke again. There are very few level 5 monsters around here. As far as I know, there are only the wolf kings of the group of wind wolves in the Asuka Mountains, and the fire tigers in the dense forest to the north. And the shadow black snake king. After a pause, Matt German patiently tried to dissuade him. Raymond, although we are very powerful now, I don't recommend provoking them. First of all, the Gale Wolf King and the Shadow Black Snake King are both clan kings, and they have many clan members. It's difficult to deal with them. It's also dangerous. King of the ethnic group? Raymond's eyes flashed and he asked again, so, what about that fiery tiger, he? Matt German hesitated for a moment, then shook his head and said, Lehman, that fire tiger in the dense forest to the north is very powerful. It should be the most powerful level 5 monster. Neither the Gale Wolf King nor the Shadow Black Snake King dare to provoke him. So, I feel the same is true for Owens. So what if we have 2 level 5 combat capabilities? Raymond asked again too. Matt German was stunned for a moment. He was about to say something, but suddenly his pupils shrank and he was shocked. Because the power of Holy Light Fighting Key, which is unique to level 5 professionals, had suddenly appeared on Raymond. Lei Meng, have you broken through to level 5? Hiss. This, how is this possible? Matt German took a breath, his face full of shock. He felt extremely incredible. Yes, and, Raymond smiled, and then said something mysterious again. Uncle Matt German, those magic cores were of great help to me. After hearing this, Matt German finally took a deep breath, then nodded heavily and said, if that's the case, I think you can try it. Now they have a total of X9 Templar archers and X4 Templar marksmen. If we add him, Owens, and now Raymond, maybe we can really try this. Even if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, just run away. If you can't beat them, just run away. It's not a big problem at all. Then try it. Lemon didn't waste any words, he simply nodded and ordered, Uncle Matt German, you go and inform Owens, Sheen, Nags and the others. Those below level 4 don't need to go. If you are level 4 or above, come with us. Yes, Lord Barren. Not long after this, Raymond, Matt German and the others, as well as Owens, Nags, Sheen and the others, got ready and set off towards the northern dense forest. The northern dense forest, this is the distance. There was an unnamed forest about 2 days away from their Greystone village. Later, everyone got used to calling it the northern jungle. Although it has no name, it does not mean that it is very safe. On the contrary, both the area and the danger here are the extent is much greater than that of the Asuka mountain range. Because there are many level 4 and even level 5 monsters living here. The most famous among them are the fiery tiger, and the shadow black snake king. Many people died in their hands, and their lives and blood made these powerful monsters famous. Chapter 20. More than 2 days later, they arrived here successfully, and then stepped into it carefully. Perhaps because of the arrival of winter, even the northern dense forest where monsters are rampant seems very quiet now. It seemed that nothing would happen, but not long after, the first wave of attacks came so quietly, squeaking. A large number of snakes came from nowhere in the snow-white world. Nobuko's hiss. Matt German's expression changed and reminded him, Lehman, everyone, be careful. There are a lot of sounds, and this should be a group of snakes. This should be a group of shadow black snakes, as far as he knows, although there are many snakes in the northern dense forest, knowing that there are level 5 monsters here, they still dare to show up. The one who threatens and warns them should be only one of the overlords in the northern dense forest, the shadow black snake king, right? Damn it, I understand I didn't find it, why did I mess with him, as expected? Next, a large number of shadow black snake kings emerged. There are levels 2, 3, and even level 4. There were so many of them that they began to form a large circle, surrounding Raymond and the others. Then, the snakes squirmed. An obviously powerful giant shadow black snake squirmed over. Appeared before their eyes. That's the shadow black snake king. Humans, this is my territory, why do you come here? Do you want to start a war with me? Then he actually spoke, spitting out snake letters, and said coldly. But at the same time, he also stared at the huge ovens with some fear. What is this? Obviously, he has seen a mythical creature like a griffin. But his instinct is telling him, the other party is very dangerous. Our target is not you, Matt German was about to explain, but was interrupted by Raymond waving his hand. Uncle Matt German, let me tell you. Matt German was stunned for a moment, and then immediately stepped back with his head lowered. It was subconsciously before, but now he knows that he has crossed the line, and Raymond is the Baron. He is the Lord. So at this time, he has no right to speak. At the same time, Raymond looked towards the other party and said lightly, get out of the way now, or I will kill you. As soon as these words came out, the whole place was completely silent. The shadow black snake king didn't expect that Raymond would be so arrogant and kill them. This made him angry. There was a fierce look in his eyes, and a strong murderous intention burst out in his eyes. However, even before he could react, Raymond suddenly started to take action. Holy light sword slash, bang. In an instant, a huge holy light sword energy of almost 2 to 3 meters blasted straight towards the shadow black snake king. The speed was also extremely fast, and it even failed to react. And such a move if it comes, this is naturally a successful sneak attack. Do it. The next moment, Raymond roared angrily, and then he stepped forward, and the holy light fighting energy in his body burst out, killing the shadow black snake king. At the same time, the 4 major temple sharpshooters fired 8 arrows. Do. Their attack almost killed the 8 shadow black snakes and the group of snakes that were already agitated. At the same time, the Griffin Owens and Matt German also took action immediately. Roar. With a roar, I saw Owens flapping his wings and flying high. Then he rushed into the shadow black snake king. I don't know whether it was due to strength suppression or racial suppression. I didn't expect this. The shadow black snake was like a toy in his hand, and he tore several of them into pieces casually. In this way, although some fish that slipped through the net continued to pass by him, towards Nagas, Sheen and the others. They attacked, but were intercepted by Matt German, who had been prepared for a long time. From this, it can be seen that their battle plan is very reasonable, even perfect. Nagas, Sheen and the others, these temple marksmen, are responsible for long-range attacks, and Matt German is responsible for protection. Owens is responsible for charging into the battle. As for the most powerful shadow black snake king among the opponents, Raymond single-handedly defeated him. Moreover, although it was the first battle, but Raymond's combat proficiency was so abnormal that it was terrifying. Under the perfect attack of his airtight holy light sword technique, he actually single-handedly perfectly suppressed the level 5 shadow black snake king. And more importantly, this is just his human form. In terms of combat power, of course his beast and griffin transformations are even better. Holy light sword technique, holy light slash. Raymond held the long sword and swung it down. The next second. Boom. 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 Actually, several 1-meter long sword energy roared out. Like a violent storm, it strangled towards the shadow black snake king who was quickly dodging in front of him. But unexpectedly, the guy seemed to finally react. He quickly dodged several sword ki, then screamed angrily, and sprayed out a transparent sharp blade from his mouth. Magic. Raymond's face changed slightly, and at the same time, the holy light fighting energy burst out all over his body, and he resisted the wind blade for a while. Fortunately, it's okay. But at this moment, the shadow black snake king attacked, and he was actually close to him. He directly opened his sharp teeth and fangs and bit at Raymond's footsteps. Become a beast. Griffin transformation. After seeing this scene, Raymond no longer hid his strength. He instantly transformed into a beast, and then swung his claws towards the 7-inch dead body of the shadow black snake king. Bang! The ground trembled. This terrifying brute force directly blasted a deep pit on the ground. What was even more terrifying was that this blow also directly tore 7 inches of the shadow black snake king into 2 pieces on the spot. Done. Raymond laughed, and the appearance of this scene also shocked Matt German. He took a breath and said in shock. Hiss. What is this? Animalization. But at this time, there was no time for him to be shocked and think too much, because the battle was still going on. But it was only a one-sided crush. With the death of the shadow black snake king, Lay transformed into a beast and a griffin. Meng and Ovens, both of them, directly gave the remaining shadow black snakes a big shock. Not long after, the ground was covered with blood and corpses. These shadows were frightening in the northern dense forest. The black snake group was simply wiped out by them like this. It seems that I still underestimated my strength a little bit. Chapter 21. It was obvious that the power of this combination of holy light fighting ki plus holy light sword technique plus beast transformation and griffin transformation far exceeded his expectations. A level 5 monster like the shadow black snake king, which was as powerful as the one in front of him, was killed by him simply like this. This shows everything. He is very strong now. It might even be stronger than the so-called fiery tiger. Is everything okay? Raymond turned his head towards Sheen. Nagas and the others asked. Don't worry, Lord, we are all fine. Nagas shook his head, smiled, and said confidently, they have very few level 4s, and they were all blocked by Ovens and Mount German. Those other little things can't get close to us. You must know that there are 4 of them in the temple archers, and a double attack will result in 8 arrows in 1 round. And how long does their design take? Less than 1 second. What about the next second? Less than 3 seconds. So don't look at it, they are just archers and are weak in melee combat, but it is really not easy to get close to them. If they are small in number and not strong enough, it will not be easy. Yes, everything is fine. I didn't expect that we actually cleared out these shadow black snakes. It's incredible, Lord Baron, your strength really shocks me. Your current strength is so strong. Matt German also sighed with emotion. It felt like he was in a dream. It was exaggerated and unreal. Before this, they clearly thought that these ethnic creatures were dangerous and difficult to kill, but they did not expect that the reality was just the opposite. This not only did he win the battle against them, but he also won a resounding victory, which was simply incredible. Collect magic cores, be careful not to miss them, Raymond ordered. Then he walked straight towards the body of the shadow black snake king. He began to feel expectant and nervous in his heart. Although the higher the level of the monster, the higher the probability of the magic core being born in the body. However, the probability is only higher. It's just high. If you look dark, nothing will happen. So now is the time to judge fate. God bless you, and so does the goddess of ice and snow. Get some goods. With a bang, Raymond tore open the body of the shadow black snake king, and then he saw a gleaming black magic core bigger than his fist, lying there quietly, very eye-catching. And this also made Raymond laugh. Ha ha ha. Very good, well done. Another level 5 magic core was obtained, so the second level 3 ordinary soldier, the Griffin, should also have arrived. Ha 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 ha. Then they worked hard for another hour, and they also finally, all the loot was collected and unearthed. Level 5 magic core X1, level 4 magic core X3, level 3 magic core X24, level 2 magic core X67. Seeing these, I can only use 4 words to describe them. Then it's an incredible harvest. It's no exaggeration to say that if they were all recruited now, this would be a new Templar Castle army. It could even double the current strength of Greystone Village. Their strength would increase dramatically. But Leahy decided to let it go first. This is because, first of all, the recruitment of his Holy Temple Castle army is instant and can be done at any time, and it will not be less than this moment. Secondly, he feels that the low-level troops under his command are the military units, the Temple Lancers, the Temple Grand Guards, etc., seem to be a little saturated. After all, there are more than 100 of them. The total population of their Greystone village is only more than 1,000, which is a large proportion. If there are any more, something is actually wrong. The last thing is the most important point. That is, compared to these low-level arms, he actually prefers and needs those higher-level arms now. So save it first. You need just use it. If you don't need it, exchange it for a higher-level magic core. This should be better. Lord Baron, do we still want to go find that flaming tiger? Matt German suddenly asked. Certainly, Raymond said without hesitation. After realizing his current strength, he is of course more eager and yearning for the new goal. After all, he already has a second griffin, and more, a third one? 4 heads? He definitely doesn't have too many. It's best to have as many as you can. But what to do with the meat? If we can take back so much Warcraft meat, it will definitely make our winter more comfortable, Matt German said with some tangle. Warcraft meat is a must-have when winter comes, but now there is so much Warcraft meat in front of you. Isn't it too luxurious? He feels bad. Hearing this, Raymond he couldn't help but take a look at the meat from the shadow black snakes, and then he got a little confused. Yes, these meats are also good things. Is that all? But he soon thought of a way. Otherwise, all the meat should be processed, the high-level ones should be taken away and packed up, and everyone should carry them on their backs. The low-level ones can be taken away if they can, and if they can't be taken away, forget it, Lemon said. As soon as he said this, Matt German was stunned for a moment, and then hesitantly said, yes, but what about the fiery tiger? We can't fight him with all this meat on our backs. It doesn't matter, I'll just fight him, I should be enough on my own. Li Meng shook his head and said. You know how easy it was for him to kill the Shadow Black Snake King before, so he didn't believe that the strength of these two guys who were almost neck and neck could be too different. Thinking about it this way, he alone is definitely enough. But Matt German refused. His attitude was firm. No, Lord Baron, although I know you are very strong. But even if there is only a small risk, you cannot be allowed to take the risk. If this is the case, the big deal is that you will not need these Warcraft meat. That's right, Lord. No. Absolutely not, Lord, you can't take any chances. The Noans, Nagas and the others also quickly shook their heads. They agreed. Then so be it, Lemon thought for a while, and simply took out the level 5 magic core and the other 3 level 4 magic cores. Suddenly the system prompt sounded and appeared next to his ears. Ding, recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 3 ordinary soldiers, griffins? Ding, recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit the level 2 enhanced unit, the Templar marksman? Recruit. Ding, host, please note that you have successfully recruited the 3rd level ordinary soldier, the griffin. Level 2 enhanced unit, Templar marksman X3. Boom. Boom. At the same time, a griffin appeared directly in front of him out of thin air. And 3 Templar sharpshooters. Then under the incredible gaze of Matt German, they all knelt down and saluted Raymond. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. Merc the Griffin, see the respected Great Lord, Templar Marksman Durant, comic, Ikes, see dear Great Lord, come on, everyone, don't be so polite. Raymond stretched out his hand and pulled them up, then smiled at the almost petrified Matt German and said, Uncle Matt German, this should be no problem, right? Matt German was stunned for a long time, and then his whole body began to tremble. At the same time, his face became excited, and he shouted, a miracle. Goddess of ice and snow, what a miracle, although all this is incredible and magical. Don't forget that this world is a world with gods and is full of all kinds of incredible magic. So he understood. This is a miracle. So, The reason why our Ramona the boy has changed so much? It turns out that it is because he has been favored by the gods and he has been blessed by miracles. Yes, this is a miracle. After hearing this, Raymond also smiled, and then waved his hand and ordered, "Okay, hurry up and start taking action. Get rid of the meat first. Prioritize level 4 and level 5 and above." Why? Priority level 4, level 5 or above? It's simple, it's because he now has a new plan. They're all here, and new troops have been recruited, so it's better to just kill a few. In addition to the Shadow Black Snake King and the Fiery Tiger, there should also be many level 4 monsters in the northern dense forest. Wouldn't it be better to take their meat back when the time comes? So quickly, they harvested several large bags of Warcraft meat. Most of them are level 4 and level 5, and then there are a few level 3. That's it, they are already full, and there are too many to hold. You can imagine what kind of concept this is, and the harvest is huge. Then he left here and continued to look for traces of the Fiery Tiger. And then in the next 3 days, they didn't find it? Strange, where did that guy go? Raymond said doubtfully. Lord, there are some abnormal signs here, and they are still very new. It seems that there should be other people passing by here. At this moment, Nagus and the others suddenly came over and said, "Is there anyone nearby?" Liming said in surprise. When winter comes, heavy snow is the norm. This heavy snow will also cover up many traces, so in theory, if the traces are not very new, they will be buried under the heavy snow and disappear in a short time. So these few they really haven't met anyone today. Firstly, it is dangerous in winter, and secondly, it is also very dangerous in the northern dense forest. The two combined together are destined to be very sparsely populated and inaccessible during this period. But for this he didn't pay much attention to it. It was normal for someone to be in danger, but they were strong. So it didn't matter. It doesn't matter, don't worry about this, keep looking, Raymond ordered. Yes. Then they resumed their search. They even sent the Griffin Merc to fly up to the sky to check. Jump and shine from afar. And then they, Lihohu, didn't look for it, but found the other people who had left traces before. Lord, there are few people in front of me, and they all seem to be pretty good, and they seem to be injured. Do you want to go take a look? There was a sound from the Griffin Merc hovering in the sky. Is the strength okay? Raymond paused and understood immediately. It seems that this should mean level 4 professionals? But it's winter. And those who dare to come to this northern dense forest must have started at level 3 or even level 4. Otherwise, it's all about delivering food and death. But after thinking about it, he decided to forget it. He didn't intend to kill people and get goods, so he didn't bother to meet the other party to avoid misunderstandings and trouble. However, at this moment, the Griffin Merc suddenly spoke again, saying, Lord, they seem to have discovered us, and someone has already come towards us. Do we need to stop her? Forget it, go check it out. I haven't found anything after searching for so many days. Maybe I can ask them something else. Lemon shook his head and said, Are you here? Of course he doesn't care, he's only at level 4, he can do whatever he wants. You? Hello, I am Bernice Otwas, the Otwas family of Duke City, the third daughter of Earl Isco. I don't mean any harm, but my companions and I encountered the Fire Tiger's attack. My companions are injured, and they are seriously injured. Can you help us? Don't worry, we have money, and we can pay and hire you, please. After a while, a round-faced child wearing a magician's robe and looking very cute and young stood in the distance and stammered, timidly speaking to them. Duke City? Raymond was stunned for a moment, because the Duke School of Magic was also there, and then he took another look at the nameplate of the magic robe on the little girl. Sure enough, these are the clothes from Duke School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Are you still a student? From Duke School of Witchcraft and Wizardry? Raymond asked casually. Yes, it is, Bernice whispered, timidly, and seemed a little nervous and scared. You said you were attacked by the Fiery Tiger? Where is he now? Raymond asked again. You want to go find him too? Bernice was stunned for a moment, then immediately shook her head and said nervously. Our previous target was also him, but he seems to have broken through to level 6. 2 of our companions died. Moreover, their pets, a level 5 giant water turtle and a red-winged black striped ape, were also dead. Believe me, go away, don't go, really. As soon as these words came out, Raymond, Matt German and others were stunned for a moment, and then their faces darkened and became gloomy. Level 6, Matt German and Raymond looked at each other, and then immediately said, Lord Baron, if this is the case, let's retreat. Can't take any chances. What does a level 6 monster mean? That is a powerful and terrifying monster that is comparable to a level 6 sky warrior. If this is the case, they must leave. They cannot take risks with such danger. Raymond also fell silent for a moment. Then he said to Bernice, "Where are your companions? Take us to see it." Bernice was stunned for a moment when she heard this, and seemed to be hesitating, but she quickly nodded and said, "Please follow me." In just a few steps, they came to a low pit slope. There were 3 people here, all women, but 2 of them were seriously injured. They were lying on the ground dying. And many places on their bodies have been burnt. They are obviously masterpieces of powerful fire magic. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Event time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 23. Hello, my name is Kodak, from Frost Warrior Academy. And they are all my friends, Lena and Corona. I'm sorry that they are very injured and can't speak now. The woman who didn't speak looked at Raymond and the others and said cautiously, "This is a muscular woman. It can be seen that she should be a warrior, but she is really nervous and apprehensive now, because she really doesn't worry about what Raymond will do to them. Especially in this wild and dangerous area, killing people and stealing goods is completely normal. Whatever happens here is normal, so she is scared and worried. But this is their only choice. If it was just him and Bernice, they would definitely not be able to get their companions out, and they might even not be able to get out themselves. So they can only do this." After noticing her fear and nervousness, Raymond also smiled and said, "Relax, if I had planned to do you harm, you 2 would have died long ago, and there is no need for me to talk in circles with you. What do you think?" As soon as he said this, Kodak was stunned for a moment, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. "Come down. Thank you for your respect, strong man." "I don't know what to call you, Raymond," Raymond said, and then asked, "Your companions told me that you encountered the fiery tiger." "Yes." "Hey," Kodak sighed and said, "Originally we planned to attack him, but we didn't expect that he actually evolved temporarily and became a level 6 monster and started massacring us. Our companions are dead, and even the level 5 monster pets they prepared in advance are also dead." What a misfortune. When he heard this, Raymond's eyes suddenly flickered, because he knew that this might be true. After all, they didn't have time to escape, so these level 6 monsters. "Do you want to kill them?" He thought for a while, and then said, talking to Kodak and Bernice, "If you are going to hire us, we are expensive to hire. Because you have seen our strength, we have both level 5 and level 4 combat capabilities. In addition, if you encounter the level 6 fiery tiger, you will have to pay more. One more thing, the magic core takes priority. You can consider it." As soon as this was said, Nakoda immediately said, "Lehman, we have 3 level 4 magic cores. In addition, we can pay you another 300 gold coins. What do you think?" "This is not enough," Raymond refused without thinking. "Only 3? It's not worth his time to meddle in his own business. As for the gold coins, only 300? It's of no use to him at all. Don't forget, winter is coming and there will be heavy snow. With the road closed, he has no place to spend the gold coins in his hand. Wait until next spring? What's the difference between that and nothing? If that's all your budget is, then I think we don't need to talk about it, and I wish you good luck," Lemon continued, and then he was ready to leave. He also wanted to understand that if the fiery tiger is really level 6, then forget it and wait for a while before talking. etc. But at this moment, a weak voice said, "I can give you a purple gold coin. What do you think?" Purple gold coin. Lehman was startled for a moment. When he looked back, he found that it was the seriously injured woman named Raina. She reached out with some difficulty and took off a bunch of necklaces around his neck. When he opened it, he saw that there was something really inside. A piece of purple gold coin. Purple gold coin. A higher level monetary unit above gold coins. Under normal circumstances, copper coins, silver coins, and gold coins are 100 to 1, but this purple gold coin is the exception. The ratio of purple gold coins to gold coins is 1000 to 1. First, it is equivalent to 1000 gold coins, which is equivalent to 1 purple gold coin, and this is only in theory. Because this purple gold coin has a unique manufacturing process, it is very rare. And it has collection value. Even the Principality of Lien is not qualified to manufacture and release it, so, the market price of this thing is not that much, but basically 1,304 to 1. So, 1,304? This price is very good. But Raymond still refused. Said calmly. Sorry, I refuse. Let's go. Why refuse? First, he finds it troublesome. Second, winter is too long. After this winter, can you exchange for magic cores and recruit troops to become stronger? By then, I'm afraid he won't care about this either. So, forget it, don't want to bother. Waved his hand, he was ready to leave here. etc. But Lena stopped him again, gritting her teeth and saying, You only want the magic core. Li Meng turned back to look at her and said lightly. Do you have any? Lena paused for a moment, then looked towards the Kodak. Kodak, take it out. Kodak was a little confused and hesitant. Struggle. But isn't that too much? Take it out. Kodak, that's all. The last severely injured woman named Corinna finally couldn't help but speak. Then she sighed and said, Hey, if it's a magic core, can a level 5 magic core be used? Raymond glanced at her and said calmly, I think you'd better not bargain with me. Otherwise, my patience will run out and I may not talk so much nonsense with you. As soon as she said this, Corinna's face froze, then she smiled bitterly and said no more. At the same time, Lena spoke again, weakly. 2 level 5 magic cores, 3 level 4 magic cores, plus my purple gold coin. This should be enough, right? You are responsible for sending us out of here, including encountering the fiery tiger. Make a deal. Raymond immediately nodded and agreed, because in this way, he can recruit 2 more griffins to make 4. By then, and in his own words, even if it is really level 6, he will dare to do such a thing. Besides, isn't this just what he wants? Then kill the fiery tiger and explode again. Wouldn't this be completely perfect? He couldn't help but laugh in his heart when he thought of this get-up. Ha ha ha, this wave is coming beautifully and I'll trouble you next. Rena breathed a sigh of relief. Although the price was huge, she was safer at least. If she could get out alive, the price would actually be okay for her. After all, it's money to buy your life, so that's acceptable. When he saw this scene, Raymond walked forward directly and squatted down in front of Lena. What do you want to do? Kodak's expression changed and he quickly came over. Relax, don't be so nervous, Raymond said calmly, then stretched out his hand, and the holy light fighting energy spread to Rena's wound. Daoki? Holy light fighting spirit? Lena was stunned for a moment, surprised. Chapter 24. You know quite a lot, Raymond praised, then stood up and walked to Corinna and did the same action. Then he spoke again. He said calmly. My holy light fighting key can make your injuries slightly better. Since you are so generous, I will make sure that your money is worth it. Can you stand up? Follow us carefully next. I will be responsible for your safety, but we don't care about taking care of you. Thank you very much. Raymond. Corinna stood up tremblingly while holding her wound. Although she was still very weak, she could indeed stand up. And after seeing this scene, Kodak could only sigh, and then he didn't know he took out a few dazzling magic cores from somewhere and handed them to Raymond. Take it, this is the magic core you want. There are 5 in total. 2 level 5 and 3 level 4. The magic core has arrived. A satisfied smile appeared on Raymond's face, then he stepped forward and turned around to leave. Then Dakota, Reyna and the others looked at wherever he could go. He started his new round of recruitment. Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit level 3 ordinary soldiers, griffins? Recruitment resources have been detected. Do you want to recruit the level 2 enhanced unit, the Templar marksman? Recruit. Host, please note that you have successfully recruited the 3rd level ordinary soldier, Griffin X2. The 2nd level enhanced soldier, Templar marksman X3. Boom. Boom. In an instant, huge figures appeared in front of him out of thin air. If you look closely, you will see that they are 2 3 to 4 meter tall and majestic griffins, as well as 3 other majestic temple marksmen. And in this way, his current military strength has successfully reached X4 griffins and X10 temple marksmen. It's a complete increase in strength. Comfortable. Ho ha ho ha. At this moment, the sound of footsteps came. Kodak, Corinna, Reyna, and Bernice supported each other and followed them, but when they saw this moment the 2 griffins in front of Raymond, as well as the temple sharpshooter, could not help but change their expressions again, and froze in shock and surprise. Why Why is there still more? Bernice said in disbelief. She clearly didn't see this just now, but what is going on now? Fortunately, I was not impulsive just now, otherwise, we would be really miserable. Kodak smiled bitterly. Of course she understood that this must be Raymond hiding their strength in order to be wary of them. But this is also normal. Isn't everyone like this in the wild area? Honest? Old acquaintances? They're all dead. Here, the deeper you have to hide in the wild area, the better. The more this happens, the more relieved she is. At least the stronger Raymond and the others are, the safer they are now. It's incredible, there are actually 4 or 5 a super monster pet. If that damn beast, the fiery tiger, hadn't temporarily broken through to level 6, I'm afraid it would have been able to walk sideways in this northern dense forest. And if it really came to a fight, 4-volt one? This might not be possible. Lose. Thinking of this, she actually had an idea in her heart. Then she glanced at her companion Corinna subconsciously, and then she found that the other party seemed to have similar ideas to hers. They thought of going together. At this moment, then Corinna spoke first, saying, Raymond, are you interested in that fiery tiger? Raymond glanced at her, and then nodded frankly, saying, I just came here for it, but I didn't expect that he had already broken through to level 6. This is a bit troublesome. In order to escape from my life before, I used the level 5 magic scroll, Snow Blizzard Ice Gun when he broke through. Successfully injured his right foot, and he has just broken through now. It shouldn't be that powerful, right? Corinna said softly. Raymond looked at her again and said with a smile. What, you want us to fight him to the death? Don't forget, give me all the rewards. If we suffer heavy losses, I might just turn against you. I just think you are very powerful. Corinna smiled and said softly, now we are all in your hands. Whatever you want to do, we can't watch you, can we? After a pause, she smiled again and said, that beast killed our companion. I really want to take revenge and let him die, but you also need his magic core, don't you? A level 6 monster that has just broken through and is injured, such an opportunity is rare, isn't it? Lemon was silent for a moment, and then suddenly laughed. Ha ha ha, you are beautiful and smart, but smart women are always a bit annoying. Corinna's expression finally changed, and then she shut up and stopped talking. However, she had to admit that her words did move Raymond, or was that what he originally thought? Then, he asked, show me the way. Where is that guy now? As soon as these words came out, Corinna and Nakota couldn't help laughing, and then Nakota said quickly. He stretched out his hand and pointed in the direction. Right here, walking for more than 2 hours, you can see our previous battlefield. If nothing else, his lair should be nearby. Then let's go. Lemang waved his hand. They set off directly, and almost 2 hours later, they finally found the traces of the fiery tiger. The trees burned to ashes. There was a particularly dazzling charred black on the white snow. Burning marks. All signs indicate that the area near here should be the area where the beast is active. They found it. Cheer up and be careful, everyone. Always be ready for battle, Raymond shouted, then looked at Matt German and whispered, Uncle Matt German, help me watch them. If there's a fight, you don't have to do anything. Matt German was about to refuse, but when he thought that the enemy might be level 6, he could only swallow his words. He could fight at level 5, but it would be a complete death for him at level 6. So he could only shut up at this time. I see. Matt German nodded and walked towards Lena, Corinna and the others, and not just them. Nagas, Sheen and the others were also the same. In the next battle, level 5 will be the main force, and they are long-range troops. It is better to stay away. Go on, look around, Raymond said, and then continued to search. Not long after, his ears were suddenly twitching as his nerves were sharp and tense. It seemed as if he had noticed something. P.S. Have a good day everyone. The update of 10,000 words has been completed. As usual, please give me some data. Thank you everyone. Come and collect Huaho monthly tickets to reward me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chapter 25. Lord, over there. There's a powerful guy over there. He's very powerful. Owens's voice came. The other 3 griffins also stared in that direction. Then, suddenly a roaring sound sounded. Roar, the tiger roared in the forest, and the ground seemed to tremble. A huge ferocious tiger, whose whole body was burning with terrifying high-temperature flames, rushed out directly from the huge snow-capped jungle. It was rushing towards them. Superior, Raymond reacted immediately and drew out his long sword. There was a direct swipe sound. Attack him. Holy light sword technique, holy light slash, boom. A huge terrifying sword energy of 2 to 3 meters erupted, with a loud noise, and it attacked the fiery tiger with a sound like thunder, but was easily hit by the guy's claws. Fall down. Tear it to pieces. Raymond, be careful. German's face changed drastically and he shouted. However, this did not affect Raymond's mentality. After all, it is level 6, and it should be like this. This is their normal level of strength. Since this is the case, then just go to full fire mode. Roar. Raymond roared, and his entire arm suddenly transformed into a beast and a griffin. The terrifying griffin claws seized this opportunity and tore it down hard at the leg of the fire tiger. Because he had seen it before, there were traces of frozen black and blue here. And the color was very dark, as if it had been pierced. This looked very abnormal on the body of the fiery tiger, which was covered in fire. Roar, but the fiery tiger was not a vegetarian. He actually dodged Raymond's attack. Then he roared angrily and pounced on Raymond, trying to tear him into pieces. But at this moment, a sharp arrow shot out of the sky. Incoming. A total of 10 arrows. They flew at an astonishing speed and hit the wound of the fiery tiger almost instantly. Roar, a roar of pain erupted, and the entire earth and dense forest seemed to tremble. At this time, the fire tiger's leg wound had been hung with 2 or 3 arrows, and blood was flowing deep into it. When it came out, it was very dazzling. It was fiery red, as if it were a raging flame. However, Raymond still frowned a little, because the attacks of these temple sharpshooters seemed to only hurt him, and the effect was not great. As expected of him. Level 6. It seems that the suppressive power of the level power has been demonstrated. Roar, roar, roar. At this moment, Owens, Merc and the other griffins had also rushed forward and were fighting with the fiery tiger. In an instant, feathers were flying. The roar is endless. The battle between them was really the kind of pure, brutal hand-to-hand combat. Complete close combat. It looks bloody too. Wild, amazing. When he saw this scene, Raymond no longer hesitated and rushed forward to join the battle. The bad news is that this guy should have indeed evolved to level 6. It's really fierce. The good news is that this level of level 6 seems to be a little weaker than he expected, so this can definitely be fought, and it is a guaranteed win. And after seeing this scene, Kodak, Karina, Raina, Bernice and the others were all particularly shocked. His face was full of shock and disbelief. What is this, Corinne, Lena, Bernice, do you know? Kodak asked stammering beastly. Lena said uncertainly, and then nodded heavily. She said in shock, I heard that some descendants of powerful families will have this kind of beast-like power. Some of these beast-like powers come from the strong men themselves, and some come from the bloodlines of various powerful monsters. But this is very rare, we don't have it at all in the Principality of Lane. I didn't expect to see it here, it's really incredible, not even our Principality of Lane? It's incredible. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. No wonder he refused our reward before. He must have looked down upon us, right? Kodak sighed. Then she asked again. Can this be won? There should be no problem. Lena nodded and said, if we continue fighting like this, that beast will definitely lose. This is equivalent to 5 level 5 monsters besieging him. Even if he is level 6, he is still very dangerous, and what? Look carefully, Raymond is very powerful. I even feel that he is stronger than the previous fire tiger before it evolved. This way he just needs to find the right opportunity. Just keep killing and injuring that beast, the longer it takes, they will definitely win. Then Karina also nodded and said with emotion. That's right. His strength is indeed very strong. How awesome. Then the battle between them began to heat up. As the fire tiger's injuries became more and more severe, his emotions and attacks began to become more and more violent. Roar, boom, boom, boom. A roar erupted, and many blazing fireballs erupted in front of him, shooting out, making Ovens and Merc scream. This is his magical power. The continuation is hot. World of Warcraft is powerful, but where is its power? To put it bluntly, most of them are magic and martial arts practitioners, capable of magic and melee combat, so it's strange that they are not powerful. But even so, he still has no chance. Call out, call out, call out. Another round of volleys from the temple's sharpshooters, a powerful arrow pierced one of his eyes. Roar, roar, roar. His vision went dark. Completely angry and violent. Roaring and roaring like crazy. However, at this time, He was already at the end of his strength and could not jump much. Holy Light Sword Technique, Holy Light Slash. Li Meng rushed over directly, using his body transformed into a beast and a griffin. He burst out with the power of the Holy Light Sword Technique, and then directly tore the right hind leg of the fiery tiger. Immediately, poof! A fountain of blood was like a pillar. Directly sprayed out, the roar of the fiery tiger was weakened, and the whole body started to tremble. At this time, Owens, Merc, and the others also rushed forward. Then, they finally defeated him completely. It didn't take long. I saw that the huge body of the fiery tiger was finally torn into pieces. 1. Lemon breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed. Although the process had some twists and turns, the result was still good. He won, and no one died. Rounding it off, it equals 0 casualties and no injuries. This is very comfortable. 1. Karina and the others also sighed with emotion. Although they were mentally prepared, they didn't expect to actually succeed. This is a level 6 monster, and they actually killed it. It's really amazing. Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Event time, September 29th to October 6th. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.